Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday night here at Carnivore Talk. And we're going to have a good night tonight. So I got to go to attend the Healing Humanity meetup in Columbus, Ohio on Saturday. That was nice. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. That was a lot of fun. And remember, on this program here on Monday night, you can join us on the screen. So all you need is a video camera and a little courage. And there's the link is posted over there in the chat. And actually, I'm going to pin it right now because I've been doing this for months and only recently learned you could do this. So there you go. Well, I just pinned the link. So you come join us on screen and we'll talk about our carnivore success stories, our carnivore struggles. We'll help assist some people in the chat tonight. And we'll get to watch what the controversial carnivore is cooking up. I look forward to seeing all of you. So yeah, please join us on screen. It'll be a pleasure to have you. So there's a good opportunity if you have another YouTube channel of your own, you can restream it to your own channel if you like. If you are thinking about it but are a little camera shy, well, this is a very good way to break the ice and get comfortable being on camera. So go ahead and join us. So I just had the same thing that Meathead is having there, except I chopped mine up when I cooked. So I just had some ground beef with a little bit of seasoning and some cheese on it right before I got on because I was hungry. And we see he's going to have the same thing. And let's go over here to the chat and see who's joined us so far. So, hello, Feral Grandma. How you doing? If you notice, I still use your picture on my thumbnails. We had the one particular meeting where we actually maxed out at 10 participants, which is how many I'm allowed to have here. I'm allowed to have 10. So plenty of room for you to pull up yourself to the table here and join us on screen. But it's good to have you here tonight, Feral Grandma, as always. And then we have Sandy Blythe. I'll be there. So this was 7:16 and 7:30. Those are the early birds. And so now we're here. Glad to have you here. Meathead says, welcome to Monday Night Live with the controversial carnivore and the host, Bob. So, controversial carnivore. We'll see what kind of controversy Meathead is going to stir up tonight. So, all right, let's see here. Here we go. Bob, great video of the Columbus meetup. So yeah, I was actually pretty excited. You've heard me talk about it before, how nobody holds a meetup here in Ohio or Western Pennsylvania. And one of my goals is to eventually host such meetups, maybe quarterly, maybe twice a year, something like that here in the Northeastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania area. So, Cleveland, Akron, Youngstown, or something like that. And but I didn't know what to expect at one because I had never attended one in person, and I haven't seen many videos of a meetup online either. So I grabbed my camera and I got my VIP ticket and I headed down there on Saturday, and it was really cool. So I got to meet Dr. Kiltz face to face, as well as Dr. Nelson. And that was a surprise because when I bought my ticket, they were not listed on the roster of special guests. At the time, it was just going to be like Carrie and Jen Mann, Ashley Rogers and Russ Mitchell and Adam Lacey, and maybe a few others. So I didn't expect to see any of the doctors there. And then when I got down there, when I got down there, I was kind of confused. I had to pay for parking because I didn't know where I was in this area. And I had to walk around because I couldn't find the place where it was at. It was a place called the Funny Bone. Turns out the whole block was like a mall, and it was inside. And as I trusted my Google Maps telling me to go in this particular door that wasn't labeled, I looked to my right and there was Dr. Nelson. And I'm like, hey, and we recognized each other right away. And because he works closely with Dr. Kiltz, and he's the one that's conducting the Kiltz health coaching class, which I am enrolled in. And so we went inside and found a mall employee that told us where to go. And then we went inside and we saw Dr. Kiltz in there. And there was quite a few people there. It was a nice big crowd. And I didn't take a head count or anything, but it turned out really well. So a lot of people that recognized me from Kiltz's Zooms in the coaching course. So some of the fellow students that are in the coaching course was there. And then also some of you who watch this on Monday nights were there also and got to come up to me and tell me who you are. And so when I see you, say hi, and I'll say hi back. And I won't say your real name or nothing, but it was nice to meet some of you in person. That was pretty cool as well. So yeah, we had a really good time, and I'll talk about more about that later too. So we have Papa Carnivore is in the house, always there. Papa Carnivore never disappoints. Papa Carnivore is everywhere. So it's good to see you, Peter. All right. Feral Grandma says, I feel better. Getting on screen would be okay, but if I felt better, I wouldn't be home. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you feel better soon. All right. Hey, Alexis. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. And that everything's going okay for you. Let us know. Type it in the chat or pop up on the screen and give us an update how you're doing. So very good. Alexis, by the way, has got a YouTube channel worth checking out. So go over there and show her some support. And there's Sandy Blythe. She is here. All right. And then we have Brian Fly Fisherman Dish. Good evening. Nice to see you here. Glad you could join us. And let's see here. A lot of hellos, a lot of greetings. Howdy, Lewis. Glad to have you here. You're more than welcome to jump back on screen too if you'd like. And I skipped over something because there's a reference from Booby Goats. Ladies, he's taken. All right. Oh, Kurt. Brian says he saw your new video. That's the one you texted me about. That must be the prologue video, right? Yeah, okay. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll be watching it soon. So in fact, I'll do that afterwards. But yeah, go over there. Meathead's got a channel, and he's trying to build a subscriber base, and he's publishing videos now. Some shorts and some other ones. And yes, did you want to say something?
Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. Okay, so yes, if you are sensitive or babysitting with children in the room, be cautious when you go over to Meathead's channel. So, or if you're at work, because it's not safe for work. So, all right. So, loved the Columbus meetup video. Yeah, and it went on. There's actually more footage. Carrie's introduction video for some reason had no sound. I had an early on clip, and it didn't record sound for some reason. But the rest of them did. I don't know why. Maybe I hit stop and record too soon. I was really disappointed because I bought this like fancy little, Sony microphone that slips right into the hot shoe, and I think it did pretty well considering where the speakers were and the acoustics of the room and everything. But for some reason, I missed sound on that first video. But I got everything else. And so what you saw was everything before lunch. And then we broke for lunch. And everybody had at least 2, or could have 2, up to 2 beef patties that the restaurant made. And there were a couple different types of cheese there. You could put bacon on it. You could request a fried egg on it as well. And then for those that were keto, there was some like jalapenos and pickles and something else that I didn't pay attention to because I didn't need it. But it was very nice. And then if there was extras, once everybody could have their up to 2, then people could go back and get a third one, if they could. So lunch was included. And then during that time, you could also buy some merch. So I got a cutting board and had some people sign the back of the cutting board. And then some people asked me to sign their cutting board, which was kind of a bit odd, so, and then took a bunch of pictures, so only some of them were uploaded. I didn't on that video. The pictures are in that uploaded video. The pictures are also in my album at carnivoretalk.com. I created an album with some pictures there, but I didn't share the ones. There was a few individuals that they were a little leery about posting them online or in our WhatsApp group or things like that. So I didn't include all the pictures we took, and but it was a lot of fun. So and then not only did you hear the stories from the people on the stage, but during lunch and there was a designated social time where we got to mix and mingle. You got to hear people's success stories from the people sitting at the table from you. I had 5 other people sitting at this table for 6, and you could walk around and talk to some others. And then they shared a lot of clips for the Healing Humanity movie. A lot of trailers. They asked us not to record those, and which is fine, because that's, they have to release that on a certain time, and they need to protect their rights, so they continue with their interests with Netflix and stuff. And then there was a Q&A session. So I did record the Q&A session. It's over an hour long, but I don't know if I'm going to upload it or not. So some of the questions were real personal, and some of the questions, actually didn't really have an answer. So, but all in all, it was a good time. And then afterwards, since I bought the VIP ticket, those of us that had VIPs, we walked 2 blocks down to Texas de Brazil, and we got to have dinner there. So we got to wine and dine with them too. And the whole thing was over probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then me and a couple people, we actually went to a Starbucks. Some of them were interested in some coffee, and I got like a soda water. And then I had to drive home, and it was 2 hours. So it was 2 hours for me to drive home. So, and on my way home, my car, I've never seen this warning before. It actually lit up on the dashboard, and it said, "Warning, driver needs rest. Pull over and get rest." So I must have been getting a little sleepy at the wheel, and the car could sense it. So it was a good time. Absolutely loved it. So, and yeah, those talks, those are the highlights, and I got permission to upload them too. So yeah, if you haven't seen the Columbus highlights video, go check it out. I published it around 2 o'clock, and then a couple hours later, I thought, you know what, I need to go in there and put chapters. So you can actually go in there to the description and look at the chapters, and you can skip to certain speakers if you're looking to see a certain speaker, instead of having to, move the slider back and forth trying to find where it begins. I've got them all marked for you.
Saw the whole thing. It was excellent.
You got to watch it. Yeah, it was good. And so there's a couple times where like the camera was shaky. Like I started like trying to hold it, and then I used a tripod later. And then every once in a while, someone had a drink right in front of me and would put their head down in front of the camera. So then I'd have to try and slide it around, and so my view wouldn't be too. It's I'm no pro, so
better work than what I could have done.
I'm an amateur vlogger, so
better than what I could have done.
All right, Rockin' Keto Amy's in the house. Good to see you. Pop up on screen. Come say hi. All right. And there's Aaron Fallon. Glad to have you here. And yeah, this was my question. Aaron, who's taken? Aren't they both married? So let's see here. Yeah, and Feral Grandma asks, yes, we do have 2 Aarons. We have an Aaron that's really going by Aaron, and we have an Aaron that's going by Booby Goats. So all right. Let's see here. A lot of hellos. Yeah, this Aaron is double the fun. So, and I know Booby Goats has a channel too that you should go over there and subscribe to her channel and show her some support as well. If you have a YouTube channel, and I don't know about it, let me know. Go ahead and let the audience know. I know I probably won't let you post a link but just say something so we can draw attention to it. Okay. And then I can post links. So maybe if I have some time, I'll post the link. So, all right. But we want to do everything we can to support our fellow carnivores. So my topic today obviously is healing humanity. So I've published two, we got this live stream based on healing humanity. I published the recap of the healing humanity. And then I made a thumbnail and kind of titled this with the question, can carnivore heal humanity? The name in itself sounds very ambitious. And, but, what does that mean to you? Do you think we can heal humanity? Do you think we can heal some of humanity? We talk about this being a movement, and it's a movement that's gaining steam. It certainly is. Every year you hear more and more about the carnivore diet. We're starting to hear it on mainstream media now, even in positive lights, not just negative light, and, obviously I'm here today because the carnivore diet has healed me. And I have the privilege of coaching some people in real life that the carnivore diet's healing them. So what are your experiences on the carnivore diet? Put them in the chat. I'll share them. I'd love to have you on the screen. You can share it yourself and tell us how the carnivore diet has benefited you. You can see what it did to Kurt, though. It broke his arm.
It did.
So... not really. He had an accident, but his carnivore diet will hopefully help him heal faster than average. And I can say that with a measure of confidence because when I started the carnivore diet, I had broke my ankle, actually. It's kind of weird to say, but I started the carnivore diet because I broke my ankle. And I healed in... I don't want to say record time, but I healed much faster than the bone doctor thought I would. And he was pretty surprised when I went in and we did the x-ray, and he said, wow, you healed super fast. You can start walking whenever you think you can. And he thought it would take a month for me to actually learn how to walk again. I was walking in 3 days and dropped the crutches. So very good. Oh, we have a guest coming on here. Who might that be? Any guesses?
Sandy.
This one's gonna be a surprise, okay? Because
Papa.
because I'm surprised as well. You think, okay? So Kurt's betting on Papa Carnivore. Yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. Ready for this, for everybody? Dr. Kiltz, how you doing?
Holy moly!
All right. It's a great evening. I've been on patient calls for the last hour since I hung up, and a lot of emotions in my business.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting yelled at.
Oh, okay.
Not in a bad way. And I use it this is the most, fertility world is a very frustrating world. And so the first patient I talked to eats a lot of vegetables, won't eat meat. The last one I just talked to is a vegetarian and also won't touch meat. So what can I help her with to get her where she needs to go?
They're not making it easy on you.
They're not, but I've been doing this a long time, and I stick to the story, and I basically I'm talking and eating my steak to them a little bit. I did a FaceTime with this last one, and I'm like, this is what you have to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. So out of curiosity, because in one of the coaching classes that Tony Hampton conducted in one of your Kiltz coaching class, we had Tony Hampton, and he talked about how sometimes we have to meet people where they are, and you can have individuals who are just not keen on carnivore. They might be vegetarian, they might be from a religion that thinks that cows are holy and they're not going to eat them. And so you got to try and give them the best advice you can. You got to meet them where they are, not necessarily try and, pull them your way. So if you have this vegetarian infertile person has strong convictions about their vegetarianism, what is there any type of advice, any way you steer them towards certain foods or make them think about nutrition in a different way? Or
Well, I certainly focus on, I talk about keto and then I talk about carnivore. And I talk about the fact that lions eat this and don't eat plants. And she suffered from infertility, depression, anxiety for years. And I said, and then what's the cause? And the cause is plants. Now, as a vegetarian, you could do eggs, cream, butter, cheese.
yeah, that's
Make
true.
it cheap. You could take a potato. See, I'm very limited on my vegetables. A potato would be like my number one. And interesting about potatoes, if you look back at the Irish potato famine, the potato is practically one of the very best single plant vegetables you can eat, which contains probably all the minerals and vitamins your body requires. And by eating and the well-cooked potato probably is the least toxic without the skin. And so if you add a lot of fat to it, you are essentially making, because remember, it's fat plus protein, or it's fat plus sugar. That's kind of the difference between a lean meat and a plant. So by adding more fat, cream, eggs, butter, cheese, you'll reduce inflammation. If you go to one meal a day, I've got a lot of vegetarians that could do it. A vegan is hard, but it can be done. But it's way hard because all of the plant oil fat is really has some toxins in it, I believe. But I mean, olive oil, coconut oil, hemp seed oil, avocado oil, maybe, I don't know. But you're right. Look at, I come at them with the story because it's like if you had cancer and infertility are very, very similar. Okay. Because it's life and death. And if you're now 45 and you don't have time, you got to throw in everything you can. And I always ask the question, well, if eating meat would get you a baby, why would you not do that? But you will use thousands of dollars of drugs that all have side effects and complications. But again, I often push the envelope, but I tell them always, listen, it can be done. I just want to make sure I gave you at least the conversation of the top of the line, and then I'll give you where you can formulate and work your way in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So, and yeah, I was just thinking, when it comes to fertility, that's a unique case. And, if people just want to just kind of live and be thin, I mean, you can survive on a vegan diet today thanks to modern technology and supplementation, whereas you couldn't do that like hundreds of years ago. But in the cases that you treat, there's an end goal there. There's fertility, and there's been a clear evidence between the increase in meat and animal products is going to help you heal, so you can become fertile and conceive a child. So, I was just wondering if you get these militant, hard to persuade vegans that you tell them what the answer is and they still don't want to hear it because their convictions are so strong. I was just kind of curious how you would deal with that. That's why I asked the question, which you did answer. So,
and I have a fair amount of that. And again, I'm like, I say, hey, listen, I'm only going to give you a story. You deserve the story and you formulate where you want to go. I can help you where you're at, give you something that's going to improve it for sure.
All right. Very good. So
who's Meathead? Meathead?
Yeah. So his name is Kurt.
Me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah, tell them
Pleasure.
about yourself. Go ahead.
Well, I've been carnivore for a little over a year, and my why was I've always been homeopathic medicine as far as I've not liked drugs. So it came down to, after having several heart attacks and ill health and being on disability, my doctor, my cardiologist, one day he's like, okay, besides your metformin, I need you to take Farxiga and I need you to take Ozempic. Otherwise, you're going to just keep going downhill from here. So I came home and punched it in YouTube, and it's like, how do I avoid taking Ozempic? And this is where it led me. I've lost 70 pounds so far. I've had 2 surgeries. This is my 2nd surgery. So,
What'd you have done?
first surgery was an umbilical hernia, and this one here was torn tendon in my right elbow. I just had that done Friday.
I've had 3 hernia surgeries.
Not fun.
I tore my tendon like Kurt did, except I didn't have no insurance at the time. It was about 13 years ago, and I never had mine repaired. So it's a distal tendon where the bicep connects to the forearm bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my other muscles compensate for it. I learned to live with it. So, but he was fortunate enough to get his repaired. So
we can compensate of reasonable, amazing amounts our bodies. I mean, we thrive. We survive long with a lot of diseases and problems, but finding this way of living has been a game changer for myself. Kurt, is that your first name?
Yeah, Curtis.
Yeah, and again, I learned at 55. Well, actually, younger than that. I learned keto at about 45, 50. I don't even remember. Paleo, then keto, then carnivore. And, this has been the game changer for personal and my patients.
Well, I'm like way over that. I'm closer to 60. And just now, this is my first time. I watched my mother try Weight Watchers back in the 70s.
Sure.
And I had a previous boss that she was doing keto, and my thoughts on these diets were they're gimmicky. They want you to buy into something. You got to subscribe, and that's just not what I'm about. That's what sold me on carnivore. And there's Dante is one of the guys that inspired me. Kerry from Homestead Howe is another guy, but the two of them that really inspired me were Big Man Alaska, John, and Mike from Arkansas, Weechamana Living. I can't remember the name of the mountains, but it's down in Arkansas. Those 2 guys, they were drinking, obese, fat, lazy, and I'm like, if these guys can do it, so can I. And
I mean, this is a game changer in life, right? I mean, ultimately, I'm 70 next year, and I can tell you that this is like, and this group, this community we're in, it's really amazing. Look at all these people we know from just online around the globe. We feel like brothers and sisters. To me, brothers, sisters. For all of us are learning together. I mean, Bob's got his diseases, you got yours, I've got my stuff I've suffered from. So, where do you live in this world?
Right now, I live in the States. It's a long.
he's
long
off.
story.
He likes to remain off grid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
But I can tell you one thing, that I was blessed because, well, it's going to come out in my story, but I can just say I was blessed with a good job. So that's what's keeping me here.
In September, probably September, right? You think in September we're gonna do a formal interview with Kurt here. on Carnivore Talk. So
Oh, nice. Very
yeah,
cool. Very
sometime this fall. So
Very cool.
Yeah, Amy, hush up.
Here's my blessing. My
There you go.
grandson. Yeah, it's sort of like it's all that matters now. You know, it's sort of like I am dedicated to this keto carnivore world and the fertility world, which I love. But you know, that's it. Amazing.
So I had the privilege of sitting next to Dr. Kiltz at dinner on Saturday night.
Good
So that was
time.
nice. So
That was good. That was very good.
I think I out-ate you, but I can out-eat most people still. So I'm a big eater.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had the burger. Did you eat burger? You had burgers too, right?
I did. I had two burgers with a fried egg. Yeah, and that was at like 1 o'clock, and then we turned around and had dinner at 5. So most of the people that at the dinner were like, "Man, we're still full from lunch. We're not really hungry." And here
We
we are,
almost
all you can eat meat place,
and we still ate something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think
good.
everybody did eat something. So.
Just,
I'm one of those guys. Every time they came around, I'm like, yeah, I'll take one. And then I got to the point where like my plate started to look like a pile, and I was like, okay, I got to turn my card over and start saying no. I got to catch up.
Well, then I took your card and turned it over on my side, had a little bit more, and then you took it back.
Yeah, because the card disappeared. So
yeah.
And by the way, that brand of water they have there is my favorite. So
the
Saratoga. I can get it right down the street here at the local Meijer. So
yeah, I get a box of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like, it's like that's.
I never heard of Saratoga until the first time I went to Texas Day, Brazil, which was about 8 months ago, and then when I found it, I had to hunt it down. But I like it better than San Pellegrino. Or
is that Saratoga in the blue bottle?
Yeah.
My wife saw it on one of her Instagram things, and she's like, "I got to try that."
It's really good.
Yep, that's the bottle.
It happens to be still, but I mostly drink the sparkling water, but I just happen to have a couple of these too. So
I just drink tap water, not tap water, but from the fridge.
Yeah, I like I've my last addiction is bubbly drinks, and I'd like to stop drinking them for the caffeine. So like that Saratoga would be a good substitute to try and focus on, because I for some reason I think it's got a great flavor. So
I went off coffee for 2.5 years, and I'm pretty much off caffeine. But like when I did my fast a few weeks ago, I had a little bit of caffeinated coffee, and I had a little bit yesterday and today, just decaf. And although I'm getting a CT angiogram tomorrow, so I have to be off coffee at any form. But I do sparkling water as my drink, and I'll do hot water instead of coffee.
Okay, Dr. Kiltz, I just have a quick question.
Yeah,
because
please.
I understand your obstetrics and everything, but this is concerning drugs. So, like, for somebody who's had open heart surgery and they're on spironolactone and a diuretic, how long after the surgery should they be on them, or should they be on them for the rest of their life?
Well, I like to think you've been a carnivore for a year.
No, I'm not talking myself. I'm talking somebody that has had open heart surgery. I've had a stent.
Okay.
Somebody that I'm trying to convert, but I can't see them. If they don't convert to carnivore, then I don't want them see them taken off the medicine if it's.
Well, I think keto helps carnivore, as better. And I would like to think that revascularizing and oxygenating the heart muscles, should bring back a lot of that with carnivore, and may be able to get off all of those drugs. But that's, the maybe and will are, two different things depending on their motivation. Because you got to start, you don't have to exercise, you got to move. You got to things to get the body moving. And I would think with healing carnivore, I think absolutely they should be able to get off of that.
So, yeah, if they were to dedicate themselves to a carnivore, then the medicines, it's the diuretic, because for congestive heart, it's mainly for congestive heart failure. And that's only because he's had a triple or quadruple bypass.
Well, like Carrie, I mean, a lot of people go through intermittent heart, they have heart failure, but they can heal from that.
Okay.
And I think that carnivore helps tremendously, along with fasting, for sure. And they may bring back significant amount of cardiac function, I would think.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get a foothold here, because I've already gotten them off their statin. The statin is just nonsense. I showed him a video. I can't remember if it was Dr. Berry or Dr. Westman's video on the statins, and I said, here's the information. You make your decision on what you want to do, because
Right.
they've also had blood sugar problems, and they're on metformin. Well, you're doing a statin which is affecting your blood sugar, and then you're taking metformin to cover that up. You're killing yourself is what you're doing.
Right. Right. Well, again, you know, there are so many ways to do this. I think, you know, I always imagine that health and wellness and healing is just around the corner, or I am already found it. So you imagine it's going to happen, then you see it happening. But, you know, absolutely, we want to practice that we can heal all of us, right? How many people do we all know that, you know, had cancer and survived, and some didn't, right?
Right. So, on the topic of blood pressure, that's actually something that I'm trying to deal with right now because of my kidneys. So, you know, I'm late stage 4, early stage 5 chronic kidney disease. And when it comes to blood pressure in the body, the kidneys dictate a lot of that, regulate a lot of that. And so ever since my phenofibrate debacle, my blood pressure has gone up, and I'm averaging like 165 over 105. And it's been like that for a couple months now. So I've tried like quadrupling my beta blocker. I switched from losartan to olmesartan, and nothing seems to be taking now. So I got to come up with some other combination of stuff to try and get that blood pressure down. But it's too bad because my blood pressure, when I originally did the carnivore diet, my blood pressure came down, you know, but then my stupid doctor gave me this medicine that, you know, damaged my kidneys even more, and now my blood pressure's gone back up. So I got to.
Have you tried the nattokinase?
I have not tried the nattokinase yet. So that is on my list to try. I wanted to take this drug for a month to see if it would do anything. I didn't want to take a bunch of things at once and then not know what of the things I started actually had an effect, you know? So I want to try one thing at a time, so I know what's working and what's useless. So
the best thing I did for my blood pressure, stop measuring it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what I would do is, see, I think the stress of blood pressure measurement is adrenaline inducing. So I would do a lot of meditation and relaxation, and then I would measure it. And I'd do breathing exercise, I'd measure it again. And I'd always get it down. And then now I'm pretty good. My white coat syndrome's kind of gone away, but not completely. We'll see what it is tomorrow when I go to the doctor.
I'll measure it here. I measure it here at home, and with a cuff, and I'll put the cuff on, and then I might watch TV or wait an hour or something completely relaxed. Because if I'm up and moving around, and then I grab the unit, sit down, measure it, boom, it's high. You know, so I try and only measure it when I'm really relaxed. And I've heard about those breathing exercises too. So I try to put those on. So it's a catch-22 because they say that high blood pressure can damage those vessels in your kidneys. But then it's my damaged kidneys is causing me to have high blood pressure. So I don't want to do any further kidney damage because, you know me, I'm hanging on by a thread kidney wise, so
I think we overemphasize the power of hypertension. Hypertension isn't the cause, it's the symptom. Just like obesity is not the cause, it's the symptom. And so I think we overdiagnose it and overtreat it personally. So I think, everyone says, oh, you got to treat it right away, they're going to stroke. I've never seen anyone stroke and said, oh, their blood pressure was high and they stroked. I don't think that's the cause.
I don't think that makes sense because a stroke would have to be caused. Isn't that caused by a blood clot that breaks loose and plugs a vein in your brain?
All the time, but that's
right.
What everyone.
Yeah. So the blood pressure alone isn't going to cause a stroke. So. Yeah. So I agree. I agree with you there. That's something I've always wondered about. So, but it's definitely, it's something that I saw improve my first year on carnivore. And then I've seen it get worse when I had more kidney damage done by that drug that my doctor had me taking. So for me, that's a little disheartening to see because I was making progress to see it come undone, and now I'm kind of worse off than where I started. And it's not carnivore's fault by any means. Carnivore, if anything, it helped, but it's disheartening to be gaining ground and then to lose ground, if you know what I mean. So. All right.
I think that's part of, once again, modern medicine has us worrying about things. Now, I'm going to go get my CT angiogram because I'm just curious more about, my CAC score was 700, but my CT angiogram said minor narrowing the circumflex. Everything else was open. So now I'm more curious about, all right, 2 years later, is anything happening with my vessels? We'll see. I'll let you know.
That was my next question is I know when you got your CAC score, you shared that in your group if you were going to share the results of your CT angiogram as well.
Yeah, I'll share it.
What's the difference, Dr. Kiltz? What's the difference between those two?
So the CAC score is a study of the calcium deposits in and around your vessels of the heart. And it kind of looks a little bit at the plaque also, but it doesn't require any injection of any contrast to actually try to visualize the vessels and the fluid going through them. The CT angiogram is a similar test to the CAC score but they inject a fluid, a contrast that they're also looking to measure the diameter and any narrowing of the vessels. Almost, it's a poor man's true angiogram where you actually thread a catheter and then you inject it and take an X-ray at the same time. Is similar, but the problem with CAC scores is CT angiograms. People could have lots of visible disease, but no disease, or no visible disease and then get the disease. And our ability in medicine to pick a test that says, you're going to be fine, you live 20 years, doesn't exist. But I did a small session with Dr. Ovadia a year ago-ish. Took me a while to do it. And so I'm going to repeat it and see, and maybe we'll get on with him again and review it again. So I'll be glad to share it.
What's the CIMT scan? CIMT.
Well, is that there's one that's that utilizes. I'm not expert at the heart studies, by the way. I think that's Dr. Nelson and Dr. Vadi, but There's also, you could add AI to it and get a little more detailed measurement of stuff, but I think it's more artwork than anything, but
Okay.
I don't know.
We have a question from Dustin here at Keto Simple. He says, do we know enough about CAC scores to know if they are linear, like a score of 100 versus a score of 1,000, 5,000, etc.?
No, but one thing interesting, I have a lot of calcium deposits all over my body. And so it may throw the whole study off anyway, but I don't think we've shown that at all.
All I know is they do say that, like, lower is better, a 0 is ideal, but like he was saying, there's people that will have a 0 calcium score and then go have a heart attack, and I can't have the CT angiogram. That's well, I mean, I technically can have anything, but there's a little caution there because of my kidneys as well. That dye is not good for the kidneys. So if I ever decide to have any kind of deeper testing, I'll do the CAC score. That's fine. I'm not afraid of that. And then here in Cleveland, they're free. I can get one for free. But I'll probably get, I think it was like an ultrasound of your carotids you can get. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the exact name for it. But Dr. Brewer talks about it.
Yeah, the intimal measurement.
That's the CIMT.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's the CIMT.
Okay, right. The carotid intimal media
test.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a doctor here that does it. He said it's like $200, but for a new patient, you got to get in. You got to pay like $500 or $700. He's functional medicine.
Right. Why not just order your test and get it yourself? Why do we need an intermediate to get a test that we can go online and learn about it and talk about it?
I talked to the doctor who did my hernia surgery, and I asked him about this test, and he said no, he talked to like 5 different cardiologists that day, and after surgery, he explained to me nobody knows what that is. Nobody knows how to do it. Nobody's the CIMT test and read it. Don't ask. I'm a layman.
There was a talk in San Diego, and they were doing the test, but I had missed it. And
okay,
I think but I think that like you're looking at the major vessels, carotids, heart, and since we all, there's a high incidence of this damage to our body anyway, but why some people die and affected earlier than others, that's the biggest mystery.
Yeah, Dustin says, good thing to know when in Cleveland versus Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and get a CAC score too. And yeah, that is true. I'll even show it to you. It's right here on... Oh, this is not going to let me show it to you. Oh, there we go. There we go. So there it is right there. It's University Hospitals, uhhospitals.org. No cost coronary calcium score.
Is that that for residents only?
I'm not 100% sure. All I know at this hospital, so some very wealthy person died of a heart attack, and then so the family made this huge donation to the hospital so people could get this CAC score. So right now it's still free. So that's where I can get one around here. But even if you can't get them for free, I heard that they're actually inexpensive. They're between $100 and $200.
Amy's got a question for Dr. Kiltz.
Oh, okay. Let me get this off the screen and bring it up. Let's see here. Where are we? Here we are. Okay, question for Dr. Kiltz. I had a partial hysterectomy in 2021, been strict ketovore since 2018, and now carnivore. They found a fluid-filled mass in my lower abdomen, not on my ovary. I have a gut trauma from the hysterectomy. What are your thoughts?
What was the size of the? Let me see. I got it here. Keto carnivore, now carnivore. They found a fluid-filled mass in the lower abdomen. Well, there are a lot of inflammatory cysts that can develop in the peritoneum. I have trauma from, yeah, I mean, surgery can cause those cysts for sure. Peritoneal inflammation could cause it. How big was it, I wonder?
Yeah, the trauma's from the hysterectomy. That's how that
Yeah,
concludes.
right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I mean, it's all, any surgery is trauma to the body.
Yeah.
The body's not used to someone cutting it with a knife, right?
And she says she's waiting. Where's that? It moved on me. She's waiting on a CT scan done. She's had an ultrasound, and it says 4 centimeter is the size of it.
I mean, you know, quite often it's just, if it's a simple cyst, it's probably a peritoneal inclusion cyst, but, you know, making sure it's not solid. But there are fibromas. There are many other, an abscess, but probably not. But like, you know, then the beauty of CT, they can, or MRI, they could even do a peritoneal, a transperitoneal aspiration and diagnose it and drain it potentially.
Okay. All right, there we go.
So
Let's
basically,
see.
it's not super. It's not detrimental.
I mean, as long as it's a cystic, it's usually simple and usually benign. It's inflammatory related. If it's growing, you're watching it, it's growing, or if it's solid, then, you know, it's time to take a look at it and potentially remove it. But again, carnivore, you know, following these sort of things, unless there's free fluid and other things going on, it may just be a matter of watch it a few months on carnivore. It may go away. And drainage may be another thing.
All right. She says thank you there in the chat. So, all right. And then she's not worried either. She says in the chat also.
Good,
yeah.
good,
All right.
good,
Okay. Yeah. So anybody wants to ask Dr. Kiltz a question, take advantage right now. You can also jump on the screen and ask him face to face. Remember, we have room for 10 on the screen, and we only have 3 tonight. So there's room for 7 more.
I have another question. How did we get blessed to have you?
I had dinner with him Saturday. That's how.
Well. All right. So I'm already a member. I don't know if you know that. I signed up a while back, but you know, Bob and I met in Columbus, which is really great. And I'm like, it's Bob. I was really excited to meet Bob, and you know, I'm always excited to meet everyone. By the way, but you know, when you recognize a face that's there quite commonly supporting you, you know, that's important. And so, you know, then it was like. It kind of works out. I feel I can't stay too late because I get to bed I'm usually in bed by 8:30 and sleep by 9:30.
He does an early morning live, so he's got to get his shut eye.
and I still have to pack and get ready to go to. I got surgery in the morning. I'm operating on someone. Then I'm going to have my CT angiogram. Then I got to fly down to DC tomorrow. Of course, we're going to have steak at a steakhouse somewhere.
Oh, by the way, I want to say thank you for everybody that from Old Guy Carnivore for what you did.
Mitch is our brother. Like, I love that guy.
Yep, so do I.
Yeah, so Dr. Kiltz sat at the head of the table, and I was sitting on the corner right next to him. So we got to talk all through dinner. So it was a pleasure. And yeah, I've been in Kiltz's Mighty Tribe for probably 2 years now. For the most of my carnivore journey, I've been visiting his group. He does a Zoom on Monday nights, also at 5:30, you know, a couple of hours before we do ours. And I've been doing that for a long time. So yeah, I've always been in there supporting it. Sometimes, you know, bugging them with my own questions.
Well, I mean, there's so many. I mean, many of the same people are here. You know, that's the beauty. You know, we're hanging out, and this is really a hangout. And that's the beauty of it. I know like Rick is always doing something in the background. Some people are doing other things, and that's really the beauty here, right? Carnivore Whisperer, Sandy Rockin', Keto Amy.
Yeah, a
Bobby.
lot of these individuals are over there. Some of them are from the coaching class too. So that's true. In fact, you mentioned Rick. He usually in about 5. I usually expect him to pop in about 9 o'clock. He joins us late.
He may have gotten some work.
He's at what's that?
I said he may have gotten some work. He was at the. I think he did a short run to the store today, but I'm not sure if he's gotten any work this week.
All right. Okay, let's see here. We had this comment here. Go, Dr. Kiltz. I stopped checking blood pressure, was averaging 160 over 100. I think the anxiety of it not being in the norm exasperates it. A friend last week said, I'm to blame doing carnivore almost 2 years.
Well, so every time I go through TSA, my heart races. Now, what are they going to, arrest me for? Nothing, right? But somehow there's just the even like a police car behind me, I get a little bit, the heart starts going up a little bit, right? So same thing with blood pressure. It's like, if it's bad, like I'm going to get scolded and the doctor is going to come after me or something. But that's why I really, I was testing it before I had to have one of my hernia surgeries. And they said, oh, you need to go on a drug before you have the surgery. I said, I'm not going to need drugs. It ain't happening. So I did my work, but they said, and then one of my airplane medical exams, the first blood pressure he took, I'm not writing that one down. So I have to get a physical every 2 years for my medical for aviation stuff.
Let's see here. Here's another question for Dr. Kiltz. How was your 14-day fast? Did you benefit?
Well, I failed. I did 15. And I can tell you, first I claimed it. On day 1, I'm doing a 14-day fast. And, every day I would do my walking, my weights. I would go to work. I'd do surgery. I even flew my airplane with another pilot next to me. But it really, really was one of the best that I've ever done. I did use a little bit of my electrolyte mix, which has a little bit of stevia through the last 5 to 7 days, but not very much. And also I had a little bit of coffee, which kind of like I broke my 2.5-year coffee on that. But otherwise I felt good. I could have gone longer, but I didn't know that Dr. Nelson was going to do 22 days. Otherwise I would have kept on going.
I think that's amazing. So my longest fast was from dinner Friday to brunch Sunday and skipping Saturday. So I've made it about 40 hours. So,
well, it's like I do the 1 meal a day typically. I work, pretty good at that. And when I claim it, it gets easier to do it. But I've had some times where I claimed it and I didn't do it. I failed and.
Okay. So I have a question for you carnivores, because my weight, I know my weight is stalled out. I gained from having surgery. My blood pressure, like when I went to have surgery a week ago Friday, it was like 210 over 105, 110, somewhere in there. So they explained to me about the anesthesia, how I could stroke out. But here's my thing. I put red mineral salt in my water all day, every day. I drink maybe 2 or 3 of these 40 ounces with it. And I salt my meat once, so it's once a day, about 2 pounds. Can I be getting too much salt retaining water?
Look at Nicholas D. Salt Fix. excess salt is excreted, excess sugar is retained into fat. I don't think that if you have otherwise normal kidneys, that you're going to see salt hyper natremia, which is
Okay.
build up personally. And I think we drink too much water. Our body makes water when we make proteins and we make ATP. And so ultimately we probably need a far less water, but we drink it. We need less than we drink.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And more salt. I mean, I ton of salt. I use Malden, and I also like a little Redmond's, but mostly Malden. Baja Gold's good and Himalayan's good.
We have another question for you, but first I wanted to take a moment to say hi to Aaron, who recently jumped on the screen. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing okay. I almost didn't show up tonight. I infuse immunoglobulin once a week, and today's infusion day, and I'm a little quieter because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided that I want to encourage people that have medical conditions similar to mine to better their lives with carnivore. So I have to put myself out there.
Very nice. Aaron's you're in the coaching class too, right?
That is correct.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right.
Hi,
Yes.
Aaron. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, a bunch of us in your coaching class, we started a little chat group on the side so we can talk to each other.
Cool. Very cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And
Immunoglobulins, are you doing subcutaneous or intravascular?
Now I do subcutaneous. I did IVIG for 5 years. Then I went 5 years without and found out that I cannot go without if I want to stay playing in this game. And I really liked it. I really like this game called life.
Yeah, we love you being here. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Have you tried a raw fatty meat diet yet?
I am working towards raw. I'm doing more black and blue, organ meats.
Good.
We did just come back from a vacation at a rural fishing camp. Total bliss, but they didn't quite understand carnivore, so it was less fatty and more sandwich meat for a couple days.
Okay.
But you couldn't beat the bliss and the beauty.
Yeah, I bet. I went on a fishing trip to an island in off Panama a number of years ago. It was one of the best fishing trips I'd ever done. I'd never done a trip like that. And my friend, he has some buddies that love fishing, and they found this little island where they have this, and it was just we caught so much fish, and we had it raw or barely cooked every day, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm introducing less cooked fat or closer to raw fat. I was a child raw hamburger eater,
Yeah.
so the ground raw meat I don't have a hard time with. The non-ground raw meat, the chew density for both that and the fat, I find a challenge. But
I was going to ask, is because a big thick chunk of fat that's rubbery is kind of sometimes hard to swallow. Is it a different texture when it's raw, or does it still taste like the consistency of rubber bands?
No, it's actually it's softer. It's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the thing I recommend is when I tried raw. I grind my own burger from brisket, and it's the perfect fat meat ratio. It tastes fantastic. You put a little salt on there, and the consistency is great. And when you do your slow cooker rendering fat, and you have little pieces of beef that are attached to it, when you strain those out and you can put those in a bowl and eat those as a meal, fantastic.
All right. Because I've, I haven't actually never sat down and ate an entire raw steak. I've had beef tartare at a restaurant, but as I've prepared a steak, I've cut some off and tried it raw, and I'm like, okay, well, that tastes pretty good. And then I did that with the raw hamburger too. That one had me a little digestive upset. Might have been coincidence though. But then I also had tried. Every once in a while I'll get some liver and I'll make some liver. And so one time I was getting ready to cook some liver and I decided to eat some of it raw, and I actually thought it was better raw than cooked. So the liver was better raw than cooked. So, and raw seems unusual today, but like I said last week when this came up, there's still traces of raw meat that still exists today with your beef tartare and your caviar and things like that too. So it used to be more popular years ago than it is today, but Kiltz is on a mission to make it popular again.
well, again, it really is. If you read Pottinger's Cats, and the fat contains every mineral, vitamin, building block for your body. The protein does not. And again, the lean part of the meat doesn't. And so it really is. But once you have small pieces, you don't have to have big, and you chew. I mean, it's just amazing.
All right.
I think having the right knives helps too.
Oh yeah, and so and think about Iberico ham. It's all just dry aged. It's not
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been binge watching how to make salt cured meats. So I think I'm going to try capicola in the next couple of weeks because it only has to culture for 3 months.
And lardo. Ever heard of lardo?
No.
They literally take the pork fat and they salt it, and then they the one place is where near where they got Michelangelo's marble for his statues, right? He basically they put them in these big vats of marble, and they put all the lardo, they cover it up, they leave it there for 3 months or longer, and then they cut it out and they eat it. I mean, because nobody had refrigeration or was waiting for someone to deliver fresh, right? It was all dry aged or fermented, essentially.
So we have a question for you here. Question, hi Bob and Dr. Kiltz. I'm confused about salt. Coach Liza said I should have 5,000 milligrams by drinking Soleil water 3 tablespoons daily. I drink when thirsty and live in Texas. My legs and feet and fine in AM. Let's see here. I don't understand the end of that sentence, but the question is about salt and drinking 5,000 milligrams of salt a day. I don't know what that translates into.
Well, I mean, generally, when you shouldn't be eating or drinking it because it's too salty. It's like ocean water, right? Drink ocean water. Right.
Yeah.
And so the beauty of our taste buds, it says, oh, don't drink that, right? We lightly salt things, but if it's overly salted, you want to throw it out, right? And so our taste buds are immensely adept at saying too much, too little, not enough, right? Just right. So I mean, I think again we over drink water and under salt are what we eat or drink.
Yeah, I just
There you go, Amy.
Yeah.
There you go, Amy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just salt the taste, and if I ever have cramps, I don't do electrolytes at all. But if I ever do have any cramps, I usually just take a little extra salt, and that takes care of it. And that's rare, so I do just fine. Salt to taste. I don't go overboard. We had someone in our forum who said that they were doing something called, I'll have to look it up. They had some doctor told them to do heavy salt and iodine, and then their blood pressure had steadily increased over the months. What did they call that? I'm going to look it up.
Probably what Dr. Kiltz called it when I asked him about too much salt.
Let me go over here and type in the word salt. There was a name for it.
Hypernatremia.
That's what it sounded like. What that person said on the forums.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just too much, way too much.
I can't find it. Oh, well. All right. Let's see here. Keto Simple says, it took me a few times to get to 21 days. I had a 13-day, 15-day, 14-day, then finally got to 21. I believe he's talking about fasting. That's what the context is in the chat when I pulled this one up here. That's amazing. I just think 14 days, 21 days. That's amazing. Yeah, I've heard of people doing 3 to 5 days kind of regularly, but to do 3 weeks, that's
I'll do again 2 to 3 every month, and then 5 to 7 quarterly. So October I'll do 5 days coming up, 5 to 7, and then January I'm going to push for another 2-week fast, but maybe 10 days. I don't want to over promise, under deliver. But it was fun. You know, I enjoyed the community and the conversations. It was a lot of clarity of brain function. Energy was great.
Ramos here says, I learned common sense when thinking about kidney disease. Had a scare after a sonogram, really not resolved yet. So I don't know what the details of that scare was, but living with stage 4 now since at least 2019, I've actually learned not to be scared. And that's because I'm doing something about it, so I've turned my eating habits around, dropped my medications. Now I'm eating right, and my kidney function is stabilized. So even if they never heal, if I can continue in the stage that I am now for the rest of my life, I'll be fine because I feel great. And as long as I feel great, there's no need for dialysis or a transplant. So that makes me a happy camper. So yeah, so what if you could let me know what your scare revolved around, what it is that gave you the spooks, what about the sonogram, and then what are you doing about it diet wise? That would be nice to know. All right. Dr. Kiltz, how many are in the coaching class? Probably 80?
I don't know the exact number, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because even there's live classes once a week, but you don't have to attend in person. You can always watch the replay if you can't make it there. So the attendance that's there live doesn't represent the full size of the class. So I'm not exactly sure how many other people are in there.
Yeah, my estimate is around 60.
Around 60? Okay.
And we're learning, and we're going to make whatever changes we need to make. But really, we want to kind of, I think getting everyone as a coach for this keto carnivore world is important. I mean, that's really the most important thing, Lau. So all of us maybe talk more about, the medical system and diagnostic testing and helping people get more of a handle on, how do they approach these tests that show something that you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. How do you approach it? That's next.
And you're speaking Thursday, right?
I'm speaking Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm speaking Thursday, and then I'm interviewing Nick Norwitz at 4:30 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. I haven't talked to Nick yet.
All right. Yeah, I like Nick. So
This is great. Oh,
yep, he gets into the nitty gritty. I like the sciencey stuff. So CB Carmack says, Robert, is that chat group on WhatsApp? I need to get with one of the members to get an invite. Yeah, so I'll invite you if you're in the Kiltz's coaching class, this first group. Send me an email at bob@carnivoretalk.com with your phone number. I'll send you an invite and get you in there. You could also, or there's also Stephanie, I'd say, but I guess you'd probably need to be in the group to get anybody else's number. That's the catch-22. So yeah, so send me your number and I'll add you. Yeah, there we go. Target Prime Rib, Tom says, so Dr. Kiltz, my insulin has been cut in half. I hope that's considered good. I would say so.
wow. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Keep on doing what you're doing. So that's awesome.
I mean, type 2 diabetes is absolutely a disease. I call it, it's a form of poison ivy, meaning that we're just poisoning our liver, which is reducing the function of the liver's ability to make fat out of sugar. And sugar rises even higher, causes more damage.
Ramos wants to know, what cut are you using? Because he finds it difficult to eat raw fat.
Well, this is a let's see, a short ribs. Here's the bone, and I'm just cutting it like so, and again, I got a good sharp knife, a little sharper. I just salt it up, and you can see the amount of fat on it. I might cut it a little smaller, but I mean, I would eat it like that, but plenty good. And again, it's the fat that's the critical thing to consume, but rendered fat is not the same as raw uncooked fat.
And is that because the cooking process is going to denature or break down some of the nutrients?
I think so. I think it's going to change the molecular structure of the amino acids, simple sugars, and fatty acids, and it may have effect on the minerals and vitamins, also their molecular structures.
Well, it does with other fats. Like olive oil is okay on a salad if you eat salad, but it's not really meant to be used for cooking. It's got a low smoke point, and you can turn olive oil into a trans fat by overheating it. Same with a lot of these seed oils too. That's why they're bad for you.
It's no different than
heat does change the property of stuff. What's that, Kurt? I'm sorry.
It's no different than air conditioning with an evaporator and condensation, moisture. It's the same theory. It changes the structure.
Right. And so imagine sort of taking the lumber to build your house and pre-burning it and then building the house, right? It's not going to function normally or as well. And I think that's kind of part of the glycation process or oxidation that are big factors in the normal function of the human body. And that's where Pottinger's work comes in. If you look at that, I think you'll get a lot of good insight.
Here's a question from Jamet. Dr. Kiltz, news says animals are not all grass-fed. Are they injected with toxins, as in grocery store meats always being red?
Animals are not all grass. Well, I don't. Let's see. So, grass-fed and grain or grass-finished toxins. I mean, grocery store meat. I have no idea what you're buying, where you're buying it, where it's coming from. By the way, but maybe I was talking a little bit about the new Alpha Gal. That the question is with Alpha Gal. I mean, let's see. So cow meat, lamb, goat, pork contains the glycan alpha galactose, alpha gal, which is basically a galactose sugar that is antigenic. But why does it become inflammatory after you've been bitten by the tick? Don't know that answer very well, but is it possible that we're also getting problems because of vaccines or even antibiotics or the chemicals that may be treating the cows with? But I don't know. I don't automatically say grocery store meat is all toxic, by the way. And I'm a big fan of grain finished personally.
The grain finish is going to be fattier.
Yeah, which I think ultimately is what we want. But most of the animals, I mean, older cows tend to get more fat on them, but that would be natural. But they don't allow the cattle to be raised that long anymore. It's only 24 months, 2 years. So they gotta you gotta fatten them up with grains.
Yeah, so it shouldn't matter too much, but yeah, so like statistically correct, grass-fed, grass-finished might have a slightly better nutritional profile, better omega-3 profile, but the grocery store meat is usually going to be just fine, and also light years ahead of your standard American diet you may have been on in the first place. So I wouldn't obsess too much over that.
Well,
buy what they say, buy what you can afford. So,
I think back to the news says, right? But I don't think this is true. And I personally, I don't think there's any significant nutritional difference in grass or grain finished. I think all the omega-3 and omega-6 stuff, I've never seen a disease with that particular problem. But because most people are just eating lean meat and they're getting protein poisoning.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. There's no, you said significant difference. You use that qualifier. Yeah. Is there a difference? Yes. But is it significant? No. That's exactly what I was trying to say, That's why it's not worth obsessing over whether it's truly grass-fed, grass-finished, or if it's from the grocery store. Get what you can afford, and if you can afford to support your local rancher, by all means, do it. And buy local and whenever you can.
There was a YouTube debunk about that. What we're discussing about the alpha gal that somebody linked to me. I'll get it. I'll give it to you.
What do you think?
I honestly, Kiltz, you don't want my 2 cents because I think the alpha gal is a bunch of bullshit. It's just another way to make us put us in fear.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, suddenly everyone gets a disease that everyone's talking about. You ever notice that?
They can't pinpoint. The thing of it is they can't link it directly to the meat. There's always outliers.
Yeah, I think it's just another disease that they're trying to scare people away from eating meat.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what they're trying to do. I am going to get that. Just a second here. I have a real fan. Let me see.
So while he's looking for that, Rick, how you doing?
It's been one of those nights. It sucks to be poor.
Welcome, Rick.
Well,
are you overworked, or did you have to go? Did you not catch an iguana tonight?
No, when I was watching the Dr. Kiltz, the Zoom call, I got a phone call from one of my customers that was having a problem. They were having a plumbing issue. So I went over there and I fixed it. No problem. Then when I went to start my van, the key jammed in the lock. The door wouldn't open, so I had to use a coat hanger to open it. Then when I was trying to back it up, it wouldn't go into reverse. I had to keep flipping the shifter. Then the shifter broke. And I mean, it was just one disaster after the other. I had to get underneath. I'm all dirty. You know, I rigged it up with a coat hanger. I figured out how to use a coat hanger to shift my transmission. So I did get home, but about 15 minutes ago, and it's hot, you know, in Florida. The weather's awful. So it's just one of those days.
Well, we're glad you made it. Glad you're here. That probably
look
tells me
like-
you didn't get to have your bath with your rubber ducky, right?
No, as you
Oh,
can
man.
see, I look like a homeless person.
All right. I've got to get up early, and I got another call to make. I'm so grateful that everyone's here, and I got a chance to hang out a little bit.
Well,
Rick,
thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure.
good for you. You're the best.
Dr. Kiltz?
Kurt,
You froze, Kurt.
Uh-oh.
Give him a
Okay,
second.
just a second. I'm trying to. I'll link it. I'll just put it in the YouTube chat. I put it in the studio chat here. Just a second. This is what they were talking about debunking. There you go.
I find it very suspicious. It doesn't make sense if it's only after this bite, personally, but I'll take a
Right.
look. I'll take a look.
So
All right.
Yeah.
Talk more about
I
it.
put it in the studio chat
Okay.
where you can click it.
Yeah, there's a private chat in StreamYard that you can click on.
When you first hear
Milton.
the term alpha-gal syndrome, you'd be forgiven for thinking it has something to do.
All right. Enough
Okay.
of that.
Thank
I'll
you.
look at it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to comment on Alpha Gal too. So, but so I was just to say, like, so I know of some people who have been bitten by the Lone Star tick. It's only the Lone Star tick, and
Right.
they don't all carry that, but whatever it is that it ends up getting in your system that causes you to have that allergic reaction to red meat. But what I've heard is that it is temporary, so a person can get over it, you know, in the course of several months to a couple years. And what you can do is you can slowly try and add little bits of red meat back in, and that'll help you build your tolerance towards red meat again. So it's not like the death knell. You get bit by this tick and you can never eat red meat again. The symptoms do subside in time. How much time kind of varies per person, but you know, it is a real issue. So
I personally knew somebody who got bit by a tick.
Mhm.
They got Lyme disease. They had this thing to do with red meat. They couldn't eat any red meat. So I don't know what kind of tick bit them because they were an avid hunter.
Mhm.
But I knew this person for years, and for years they could not eat meat.
Right. Yeah. So it's a real thing, you know, but I heard
Yeah.
it's temporary. So the day will come when you can chow down on all kinds of meat again, but you got to work your way to that slowly and give it time. So the effects of that tick bite are not permanent. So,
And it's not just the Lone Star tick, apparently. But then
Right.
again, I know a lot of vegetarians that can't touch meat either. Listen,
Dr. Kiltz has to go to sleep, guys.
all right, guys. I just got to, I love you guys. This has been good.
That was a good one.
Maybe
All
I'll
right.
see you tomorrow morning. Take care. See you
okay,
guys.
you
take
too.
care.
Have a good night.
Dr. Kiltz.
Night.
All right.
That was good.
I came to rescue him.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. So, yeah, we talked about that at dinner. I was like, yeah, I do this thing on Monday night, and he's asked, like, you know, well, does he have to make an appointment to come on? I'm like, no. I'm like, we put the link in the chat. I'm like, you can just come surprise everybody anytime
And
you
I
want.
think the big thing about him is he listened and he remembered that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like
Well, he's real down to earth.
He's the best guy.
So,
He's the best
Yeah.
guy.
So his offline personality is exactly what you see online. You know, he's just a real down to earth individual. So
And I
cares
don't
about,
know
cares
how
about
he was
people.
at your meetup, but in our meetup, I mean, he did sit down and eat at one point, but like Alia was like, yeah, he's not going to eat. He's like, it's like his wedding. He's like bouncing around the walls and you know. But then he did sit down and eat. So
Yeah, that was very good.
Mhm.
All right, so Lewis, how you doing?
I'm doing good,
All right.
guys. I'm sorry I couldn't jump on sooner. We were running around a little bit, but then I saw Dr. Kiltz was on, so I said, "Oh, they have plenty of stuff to talk about." So, and then I'm home now, so I said, "Oh, let me see." Usually, I know you guys go to like 10 o'clock, but everything's been good. Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to go through. I was starring some old chats here, and
It
trying
still
to make
looks.
my way. What's that?
Oh, I met Lewis in Boston.
We
And
did, yes, we did.
I said to him, he looks like the
Your
child,
your cousin.
and he still does.
Thank you.
No, he looks.
Hopefully, he's a little bit more tan. Your cousin a little bit more tan.
You must be a relative of mine.
Yeah, I had highlighted some comments here that I wanted to get back to earlier. So here's someone that I met. Mary, the Greek carnivore. How
Ooh.
exciting that Dr. Kiltz is here tonight. So I actually got to meet her at the Ohio meetup as well. And what was interesting here is we're actually basically in the same neighborhood. So like literally down the street. So that was pretty cool. And then I met a lot of, obviously it was an Ohio meetup, so I met a lot of Ohioans. So Southern Ohio, Cincinnati, the guy who put it together, Carnivorous Dude, Ed Coleman, he's the guy that kind of orchestrated the whole thing. He lives right there in Columbus. And then we had some people from Indiana that were in the coaching course. A couple people, they were shy. Yes, if you're in the coaching course, they let me post in there, but I didn't ask them about posting online. So I didn't put them in my videos. But yeah, if you've never been to a meetup,
I never have.
yeah, and you'd like to see the one that's, the Healing Humanity one, I recorded it and uploaded it, just the success stories part, because there was some casual conversation. There was a Q&A afterwards, and I'm probably not going to upload that. And but it was basically the testimonies, of the guests. And your friend Russ Mitchell was there. So I got
He's
to meet
funny,
him.
isn't he?
Oh, he's hilarious. He told a joke. It's in the video, obviously, but he said that he gave up and he just talked for like 3 minutes, and he said he doesn't have much to say. His keto carnivore journey is kind of just begun, and his story's not done being written yet. He goes, I can tell you this. He goes, it's going to get done faster than this damn movie.
Yep. He's got your back, Rick. He's got your back.
That was cute.
It's true though. It's true.
Yeah. So and they talked about that, why it's taken so long and everything. So but it is becoming a bit of a little bit of humor there.
I think it was pretty funny myself.
Yeah. No, that was funny. So
I don't think Carrie thought it was too funny.
So I subscribed to him, and so over at his channel, Homesick Buckeye, he plays the Reverend IB Low Carbon. In his latest video, man, he does that well. Oh, it's hilarious. So he talks like he's a preacher trying to cast out those sugar demons. And he's like, there's this one line, he's like, they lie, Snickers doesn't satisfy. I about died. So go check that out. He's hilarious. So.
And don't forget to watch the Keto Cookout every Tuesday night, except for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's resuming it tomorrow either. I think he's
not tomorrow, next week. Yeah. And you know who will be on next week?
That'd be you.
Yeah, well, that's true.
On the Keto Cookout Live, right?
On the Keto Cookout Live. I always make sure I'm here Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I don't do any late night, but today was the exception. Monday, people are desperate. Okay, fine. Plus, he owed me money.
I told you, Bob. He was wondering where you're at, and I said you probably got work because you were not doing anything last week, and everybody called you today.
And you were absolutely right. And I saw Bob on Dr. Kiltz's Zoom call, but you probably saw me getting ready to leave at the end.
Well, I was just kind of listening. If you saw me, I was like this most of the time.
Yep.
Because I was tired. So I was listening and didn't have much to say. That their guest, Siboan,
Mm-hmm.
I think that name looks like the same name that posts over on Cholesterol Code's website. Is she affiliated with Feldman?
Probably. I've seen her before.
Yeah.
I think she is.
Mm-hmm. Feral Grandma says she has the smallest channel, so go to Feral Grandma and subscribe to her channel. Help her boost her numbers some. All right.
I subscribe to her channel.
Carnivore Whisperer just finished watching the Columbus meetup. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, they didn't care if I recorded. He said I could go ahead and upload it. So the only thing they didn't want me recording was the clips from the promo trailers.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there was legal reasons for that too. So, like,
I hate to say it, that trailer is kind of boring in my opinion.
Well, they had a trailer that's going to be shown Wednesday, I think, on Dr. Barry's channel. So, and they showed it to us, but they didn't want it recorded because it's only allowed to be published first by Dr. Barry. So he didn't want to have to answer to Dr. Barry if one of us snuck a copy of it and put it online. So
well, I don't think it's so much that Dr. Barry wants to show it first. I think if you're going to pick a channel to show it, it's going to be Dr. Barry's channel with millions of subscribers. I think
what difference does it make? It's not going to go viral anyway.
So, yeah, and then some of the other footage was because they didn't want to potentially jeopardize the budding relationship that they're trying to start with Netflix and stuff
and
like
all
that.
the other streaming.
Money.
And listen, I saw the trailer, and Rick saw it also.
I saw it.
And
not inspiring.
My biggest takeaway from it was how they never say Carnivore Diet in the trailer. I mean, I'd have to watch it again, but they didn't talk about it like that. They talk about just like healing and
your loose lips think chips.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to pull people in, because you look at these other documentaries, and as soon as people say, "Oh, it's all about eating meat," they can be turned off and never tune in. Versus, oh, this is something about them that I don't know what it is, but these people have healed and have lost weight and what's the secret, and it kind of pulls them in. I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
Oh, that could be.
I haven't seen it.
They use the term proper human diet because if you notice,
they did say that. Yes, they did say that.
So if you
I
notice,
hate that term.
Carnivores have hijacked the phrase proper human diet. Right. So that was a Dr. Barry thing that represents a spectrum of eating.
Yeah.
But then the carnivore purists have said that it's only carnivores, the proper human diet, not keto. So they're trying to hijack the phrase.
Yeah. So it's I thought it was interesting that it really wasn't just all about carnivore. It was pretty subdued in that regard, which I think
eat right and heal yourself. Yeah,
makes it more mainstream.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we had Alexis much earlier. So I started some of these earlier. So this is going back an hour. Am I allowed to say I'm carnivore if I've had some keto treats and occasionally some veggies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure. Yeah. So
nothing wrong with that.
I'm a carnivore.
Exactly.
I will occasionally go out to eat and have the side veg. I will occasionally have a piece of fruit. Very rarely, So the bulk of my diet is carnivore.
Even a cat eats grass.
Right. Yeah. Yep. A lion, or a cat, So yeah, that's by definition a hypercarnivore. 70% or more of their diet comes from animal products. So, and I'm at like 98%, so by definition, you're a carnivore because you need to subsist mostly on meat, just like this carnivore right here. Yeah. We'd like to welcome Milton to the screen. Milton, how are you this week?
Well,
Is he ballless and flawless yet, Rick, or not yet?
No, he still got him. See?
Okay. All right.
Earlier, CB Carmack said, I felt like I hit the lottery. My comment got read on Dectaberry's live about 20 minutes ago.
Wow.
We hit the lottery having Dr. Kiltz on.
Uh-oh. Where's the voice?
I don't know. He muted himself.
Looks like it.
Oh yeah,
Robert,
Bob,
you're
we can't hear
muted.
you, Bob.
Bob,
No, I don't think he's muted. I think his microphone.
Hello.
you're back.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
It was weird.
Yeah, it is odd. Okay, so yeah, so like Monday Night Live, like the only way you're going to get a chat in without paying a super chat is like you got to be in like the first 10 seconds.
Yes, CB, I heard Nisha shout you out. That was cool.
Yeah. And then after that, once it gets rolling, you know, because he's got so many people watching and throwing super chats at him that usually the only way to get his attention is to get a super chat in.
Mhm.
So, all right, let's see here.
Rick, what are you doing?
Now my light doesn't work. Everything's breaking tonight.
Maybe you need a break, Rick.
Oh, tell me about it.
Carnivore Lifestyle Anthony says loves the show and just got done with a 5-day fast. How often should I do
Oh,
a
wow.
48, 72, and 120-hour fast? The people that I know that are into fasting, and I'm not, so this is like, you know, just from me talking to individuals who fast. People like to intermittent fast basically every day, 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day, and then maybe once a month they'll do a 3-day fast, and then like once a quarter they'll make it a 5-day fast. That seems to be a common pattern that I hear people tell me, and maybe that's published somewhere in a book or by some influencer on YouTube, because I hear it so much that I wonder if the information is coming from someone, you know. So that's common. So I guess whatever feels good for you, you know. So on the one hand, you know, you don't want to starve to death. On the other hand, you know, if you feel the benefits of fasting and you're good, then you're good.
I did a lot of fasting, and I think I might have overdone it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like especially with my weight, like I felt like I couldn't maintain my weight without doing long fasts, which shouldn't be the case. So I actually, beginning this past May, I stopped doing intermittent fasting, and I ate 2 meals a day every day. A couple days did 1 meal just because of life. It was more convenient just to eat once. But yeah, I basically stopped doing any. I still just did intermittent fasting, so I would fast like for 16 to 18 hours a day. I feel better. I lost some weight. I think I just needed to, rev up my metabolism a little bit, and I will be doing a 3-day fast this week. My plan is to do 3 days. From Wednesday to Saturday. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I would do a fast if I got frustrated with a stall and it went on for too long. That would be one of my strategies to break the stall.
Mm-hmm.
So, Keto Simple asked at 9:18. This was probably meant for Dr. Kiltz when he was on, but it's a good question. Do you find that promoting the eating of raw meat turns off those outside of our community, off from perhaps taking keto or carnivore seriously?
I guess it can go either way. It might make people be like, how like we watch like stuff online or on TV that's like crazy, like that is not something that maybe that's very attractive to us, but we just can't look away.
Like Jackass, the movie.
Like Jackass the movie, right? Or like, these people, these influencers online that are just like eating all this food stuff in their faces. I forgot what that's called. Just stuff like that. Like I could see if it could be like a novelty to make people keep watching and maybe learn something, or it could turn them off,
Yeah, I kind of don't think so. I think if you're into the raw thing and you're like, you just come to someone that's on a standard American diet and you're like, listen, dude, I know what you need. You need to eat just raw meat. They're going to be like, yeah, whatever. They're not going to listen to you one bit. So don't do that, So it's kind of like, but does it turn people off en masse? I don't think so. It's like, you got your vegetarians and vegans, and then you got your raw vegans, and would that stop you from trying vegetarianism or veganism? No, because you could just be like, okay, dude, you do the raw thing, I'm gonna cook my beans, So
Well,
I just kind of think it's the same way the other way around. Okay, you want to eat the raw stuff, whatever, weirdo, but I'm gonna cook my steak. So
okay, Bob, I beg to differ because I have a strong stomach. Okay, it doesn't bother me to help somebody clean up their vomit, whatever.
Mhm.
Just really nasty, gross stuff. So back in the 90s, when I was working this factory, I went to a friend's house after work with him and his brother. They lived together, and they were having a beer, and they're like, you want to have some steak? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to eat. So they pulled out beef from the fridge, put it on a plate, and started eating it raw. And it just grossed me out.
Mm-hmm.
How can you do that? So yeah, I could see some off the wall stuff like that where it would turn people off versus intriguing them, like, wow. It's not like I mean, how many people like to see a lion in the wild, or a tiger, any other carnivore animal eat another animal, take them down and eat them, and sit there and watch them eat? I don't think that appeals to too many people.
Right. Well, that's what I led with, was like, if you're into that raw thing, don't don't push that, because it could gross someone out, So,
Okay.
but I think, so I there is that risk there. So like if you are Mr. Raw, Mr. Primal, and you're like, here, this is the way you got to eat it, and you start demonstrating it, like, yeah, I don't think people are going to take you seriously. So yeah, that I think is a problem. But I also think that, like, there's a good portion of people that, like, I learned about the carnivore diet. I do the carnivore diet, and then now I got people like, oh yeah, you really want to benefit from it, you should eat raw. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I've already benefited like so much in the last 2 years. I don't think really switching to raw is going to do anything else for me. So
Your chicken Bob. Bark, bark.
no, I said I tried it. I tried the raw beef, tried the raw steak. I enjoyed the raw liver. So I've
Raw
had
parking lot
at the
chicken?
restaurant. So
No poultry. No poultry. Okay.
that can be dangerous.
Iguana.
So.
I'll do iguana.
So this is good. If I could, I would go straight to the rancher. But like Dr. Berry says, the grocery is still better than the standard American diet.
Yep.
And I can only afford grocery. Yeah. Don't obsess over grass-fed, buy local, support your local rancher if you can. Just do the best you can. So, in an ideal world, yes, you'll support your local rancher and the regenerative farming, and if you'd have the extra funds to spend on there. But that's not everybody's case. So just do what you can. It's not that big of a deal. So, and again, the benefits, like Dr. Kiltz said, and I agreed with him too, is I don't think is significant. So there is a difference. Yes. Is it a significant difference? No. So
I eat cooked meat and I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Right. But the difference between grass fed and grain finished and grass finished,
Minimal.
there is a difference, but it's not enough of a difference to obsess over.
But I have a question. If you feed your cows sugar cane, is that still grass fed?
Sugar's a grass, so I would
That's
say
right.
yes. Yep.
They get fat on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eat them. You want them fat.
Exactly. Well, they used to feed them tropical fruit down here. They got delicious and fat.
It makes me think of your mango chicken video.
Yes. It's easy to
Exactly.
make mango chicken. You grab the chicken and feed it mangoes.
Feed the hip, then you kill the chicken, cook the chicken, and now you've got mango chicken.
That's right.
That's my favorite.
So
All
who
right.
is
Have you seen the wild chickens around here? No.
Down in Florida?
Yeah, I have my videos every now and then.
Oh.
Parking lot chicken, canal chicken. There's a lot of wild chickens.
Rick, you don't do any more of those videos.
I don't?
No, I haven't seen a video parking lot chicken chasing for a while.
Oh, well, my last video, I was over there chasing canal chicken.
They're not as fun because you got to dodge cars while you're doing the chickens.
Does anybody watch the Fox News segment that featured Dr. Barry on it?
Yep.
I haven't yet.
Yep, it was great with him and Nisha.
Yeah, I was just reading some of the comments here. Dr. Barry's wife, Nisha, had to defend her and her husband going on news channels to talk about carnivore kids. I saw Nisha had a video about being on national TV, but I haven't watched it yet. So
That was good. That was good too.
Yeah.
But there's no fighting. There's nothing to fight against when you're that ignorant. Okay, you're defending against stupidity. People are just that ignorant and stupid that they want to voice out. We've been eating meat for so long. Our grandparents, our great grandparents, and so on and so forth have eaten this way. And then you're going to say that it's poisoning the kids. Well, look at all the red 40s and yellow 3 and blue 2s that you're giving the kids in school out of vending machines. Please.
yeah,
And
no, that's a very valid point.
doesn't spoil.
Anything that's shelf stable is poison, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Except animal fat. Except animal fat.
And even that's only shelf stable for so long. I mean,
Right.
it's not something that's indefinite. It just has it's long lasting. So Dustin said she did not mention her kids being carnivore. The news used that. She feeds them fruit and nuts and such. So yeah, so that's a good point too. Yeah, Dr. Barry's carnivore, Nisha's ketovore, and their kids are more animal based because they are kids. So, and when you're that young, fruit isn't necessarily evil. So
And it's
That's right.
mainly
you don't
strawberries.
have a bunch of metabolic disease. If you're not older, suffering from metabolic dysfunction,
Right.
fruit's pretty benign.
Yep.
So
Especially if you grow it yourself.
right. So, I didn't know this. Dr. Berg had Lyme disease.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said he did.
How did the tick get from Texas to New Hampshire so quick? It was the Lone Star tick. Yeah. I guess they're all on the East Coast where deer tend to be. So they're from Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, down the coast.
You know what's the best thing to get rid of ticks?
Why?
What bird you think loves to eat ticks the most?
Guinea
I know
hen.
possums
Your
love it.
chickens?
Guinea hens. That's it.
Guinea hens?
Yeah,
Possums eat ticks.
and
Yep.
when we woods.
And around here, Muscovy ducks, they wipe out every tick you can imagine. There are no ticks here.
Now I have chickens. They eat ticks too.
Chickens eat anything that moves.
That's true.
Meathead says, please hit the thumbs up and show Bob some love. Yes, I always forget to ask about that. And Kurt always comes through for me with a reminder. Yeah, hit that like button. That would be awesome. Let's see here. Oh, Russ told a joke. Only one joke. Did he choke on something? No. He told jokes the whole night. He told. In fact, at dinner, he had invited people to go with him to horse racing after the dinner. If anybody wanted to go, he made a reservation for so many people. So at the dinner, he was like, he wanted to let anybody know that they could come, but he starts off. He's like, does the whole like tap on the glass thing. He was like, "Hey, can I have everybody's attention?" And so everybody gets quiet. He goes, "All right." He goes, "I just want to let you all know I'm pregnant." He says, Dr. Kiltz fertility really works wonders, doesn't it? Yeah, no, he's a regular old comedian. So, and we met at the Funny Bone. That's where the event was held. So I think people came there with trying to tell jokes in mind. So because everybody tried to take a stab at it, but I tell you what, Russ was a pro. He's funny. He's really funny.
The funny thing is, he even laughs at me, and I'm not even making a joke.
Oh, I hear a plane in somebody's camera.
Oh, it's probably me. Sorry.
Oh,
Not me.
no, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, when I first joined, there was no planes, and now I seem to be under the flight path of LaGuardia Airport.
LaGuardia. All right. So yeah, even Kill says he made homemade fries cooked in duck fat. Yeah, and you heard him say that, like, he was talking about what he would do with a vegetarian client. He said he thinks a potato's pretty benign. So.
Even Rick has heart attack fries, but you know how they're made.
Oh, what's the secret sauce?
What do you think they're fried in?
Well, lard
or tallow, and they're not potatoes.
Are they chicken feet?
Nope.
No,
they're from a plant.
Oh, okay.
But they're
Plantains.
Plantains. That's it.
Plantains. Okay.
They don't do no
So
potatoes
good.
here.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Somebody has to get together. They want fries. I'm like, I'll make you some fries. You never had better fries in your life.
Before Carnivore, I used to do rutabaga fries because starchy and it's no oxal.
Mm-hmm.
I remember trying to make, I think it was turnip fries. They weren't that great.
Well, rutabaga is similar, but it's less pungent.
Mm-hmm.
And it works pretty well. It's a pretty good decoy when you need that decoy.
Yeah, we made them before. They came out okay.
Lewis, how can you pick a day for fasting? Most would probably say Monday.
Just based on my schedule. The days I'm going to be the busiest is the easiest days for fasting. So I look at my calendar and say, oh, I have meetings this day, or, I can keep busy with things around the house, and those are the days I pick.
For me, it was having a no food Saturday was pretty easy. And I think it was because I was not working, because I work in construction. So I work pretty, it's a high labor job, and I can whip up an appetite pretty easy. But on the weekend, it's kind of easy to sit around and not eat because I'm not doing much of anything.
Now, I can't fast because my blood sugar drops too low because I don't make cortisol. You guys do.
Yep.
So when your cortisol will keep your blood sugar up, but I don't make cortisol, so it gets ugly. And I want to play internal chemist, playing with my cortisol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
So does that mean you're never stressed?
I only wish.
Well, you don't make any cortisol. Just when you stress out, your cortisol goes up. So, thought there might be a nice, convenient connection there, some benefit. So,
it is what it is. I'm blessed that I've found really good endocrinology help, and I'm doing experimental medicine, replacing my cortisol with an insulin pump, so I can imitate as close to normal as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
yeah, even any bit of trying to extend time between meals and the CGM goes off with low blood sugar, and it's just not pretty.
And do you feel it, or just the CGM is telling you? Do you not have symptoms?
Once I get, I can safely go to about 54. Once I get below 54, I start getting numbness, kind of disconnectedness, things like that. And sometimes I have to boost my cortisol to bring my sugar up. Sometimes I have to eat to bring my sugar up, and it's always a guessing game. There's no hard fast rule. So
Wow.
yeah, so I don't, for those of you in the coaching course, the person that gets to buddy with me is in for a whole heck of a ride.
Lewis, watch it be Lewis.
It's not me. It's not me. I got my match. It's not Aaron.
Yeah, and I don't know the particulars of my coaching partner either yet, so it's going to be an interesting, I think.
Feral Grandma says eating raw meat would be more fun in a Captain Caveman costume.
I pretty much was tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need a club to hold over your other shoulder.
I didn't watch Dr. Kiltz.
Baseball bat.
I didn't watch Dr. Kiltz the entire time he was on with you guys. Did he eat a raw steak?
He
There's
did.
your hammer. He did.
Yeah. He was on here eating raw steak.
He always has one on the off camera, you know.
Yeah, he was carving up short rib.
Oh.
And
here's one.
He was giving me a demonstration. It was very kind.
Here's one for you, Aaron. Tom says, I heard that cortisol helps us wake up in the morning. Do you need 100 alarm clocks to wake up?
No, I set my pump to give me what I need to match your physiological function, or closely match.
Wow.
So my pump is set to start increasing cortisol at midnight, 3 a.m., and then 6 a.m. Now, Dr. Kiltz's show at 6 a.m. is really tough for me because my brain isn't awake till 7. So when I go on in October as a guest, I'm going to have to get up early and bolus my pump so that my brain is awake for the show. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. So you have an October slot, he said?
I do.
So your pump is your alarm.
My pump is my waking and sleeping. And conversely, if I overdose myself because I'm fighting stress or some other thing, or if I'm going on a day skiing and I updose and I don't turn the pump back early enough, I'm up seeing the wee hours.
Now, does your pump communicate with the CGM at all, like for a diabetic would, or you do it manually?
I do it manually.
Not closed loop? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. You can't close loop for cortisol because there's no accurate instantaneous.
Correlation.
Yeah, I can get a bit of estimate with the CGM because I'm one of some people with adrenal insufficiency do have their blood sugar drop with cortisol, and I'm one of those people.
What brand CGM do you wear?
I wear the Dex 3.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
The Libre.
No, right. I'm sorry.
3 plus.
Yeah.
I tried to get the Dex because it's you can calibrate it.
Yeah, that's one I wear because of that.
Some people have told me that even though the Libre, they've worn both the Libre and the Dex simultaneously, and they said the Libre seems to self-regulate over time. I know when I first got on, I've been taught by some other Libre users to not activate it for up to 8 hours, just let it get used to. And that seems to reduce my low alarms.
It's also not so much about it getting used to your body. What I've learned is when the CGM is implanted, when the filament goes into your skin, the needle delivers the filament. it's doing trauma around the area, and there's inflammation, there's swelling, and that's why the sensor is not accurate for the first day or so. Because of that, because your body is like freaking out, around where the filament is in, and everyone's different. Some people have a worse response to that than others. So I know for me, the first 24 hours of a new sensor is like it stinks.
Yeah.
So, but with the Dexcom, you can't wait to activate it. It activates itself automatically as soon as you implant it. As soon as it leaves that applicator, it's activated. So my 10-day sensor is more like an 8-day sensor, 8.5-day sensor.
Yep.
But the end of the session, right, the day 10 and day 10 and a half with the grace period, is great. The readings are great. So when Dexcom, and I hate having to swap it out, but it's expiring. But so when Dexcom releases the 15-day G7, I'm looking forward to that because then I'll get more days on the end that are very accurate. So
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. That was really useful.
Yeah.
I asked on the Facebook Libre site and got some hints, but your explanation makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
See, Meathead says, I have 9 months of not lifting weights. I'm so sad. So I'm sad. So, yeah, I get that. But you know what they say is working the legs is really what counts, So,
Oh, rub it in, Bob.
Huh?
Rub it in. That's the one thing I've been pushing you every time you mention longevity, and I bring up the strength is in the legs and life is in the legs. Don't harangue me.
Work those legs. All right.
Well, you're carnivore. They heal faster than a normal human.
That's right.
Don't tell them. I'm trying to milk this as long as possible. I have an agenda.
I hope you're successful.
Yeah, me too.
Aaron, what day? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Kiltz at 6 a.m. is a morning ritual for me now, and I can't get up that early. And then also says, what day is she on Kiltz AM live stream in October? So when's your October?
10/10, Friday the 10th.
Oh, it's a great day. I love it.
Friday, October 10th. So mine is
10.
Mine is Wednesday, September 3rd.
Oh,
that is in a little over a week. In fact, I have to send in a picture so they can make a thumbnail. So yeah, they've been harassing me for one. And I keep forgetting to respond to the email. So yeah, so mine is Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. I have to set my alarm and get up early so I can be on the 6 a.m. All right, so yeah, put that in your calendar. September 3rd, 6 a.m. and October 10th, 6 a.m.
Yep.
And then I suppose like when we're done, then everybody just rolls right over to Mitch's show because he's going to start starting his at 7 this Wednesday instead of 8:30.
Was anyone on his live stream today?
I was not.
So I was working. So sometimes when I'm working, I have to, people call me because they think that they can interrupt my live streams with Mitch in the morning. So I have to pause the live stream and then I usually just resume it. And I watch behind. I'm not live. And I went to go push play, and he took the video down. So Rick, do you know what happened?
You mean today?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know he took the video down. I'm gonna have to start recording him.
Did anything happen that I missed?
No, there was nothing. I mean, he was just talking about his new schedule, how he's going to go after Dr. Kiltz, and I don't remember any controversy. At the end, somebody started talking a little bit about evolution and religion, and I guess he got frustrated with that, and that's when he ended the stream. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Because somebody
I email him if something like that happened, but I didn't do it today.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I remember now. I know that sometimes he gets frustrated and takes down the live stream. I know on my channel, I never take them down. I have fun when I get frustrated.
And actually, I take it back. It's back up now.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I see
okay.
it.
So Monday, August 25th. Yeah. So yeah, but it definitely was not before. Like when I went to go push play to resume playback, it had stopped. So
I wonder if
maybe he hit it and then brought it back.
yeah, he might have unpublished it and then edited that
Make
part
it
out
private.
and then put it
Maybe.
back up. Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah. So okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah. No, I put on Mitch sometimes when I'm driving because he's usually on when I'm heading to work. So I'll say hi in the chat, and then I usually can't read anybody's replies because I got to keep my eyes on the road. But I like listening to him.
Yeah, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very entertaining.
Now, who is this?
Old guy carnivore.
Oh, Mitch. Yep. He was upset. Thomas says he was upset.
Very cool. September 3rd, October 10th. Yeah, that's right. So, and then I mean, they got a different guest every day, you know. So they're always rotating through individuals, having them on the show every morning. I don't.
What happened to the guest today? The guest no show today.
I don't know. I don't watch the 6 a.m. because I'm still sleeping.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The guest no show today. I would like to see Amy. Amy, you should go on Dr. Kiltz's show. You have a great story.
Oh, here's another date. Tom is September 19th.
Yeah.
So there you go. Mark that down too. September 3rd, September 19th, October 10. Yeah. All your carnivore favorites. Very nice. Let's see here. I was on. Oh, okay. She was watching Mitch today, right? Mitch doesn't have anybody on, right? He just talks to the camera. He's just a talking head and
Just
reads
on
the chat,
Sundays.
right? Okay, yeah.
Sundays, yeah.
Oh, he has some people on Sundays. Okay.
He posts a link like you do on Sundays.
Yeah. So speaking of posting links, so I'm going to start doing. I want to start doing a weekly interview. I'm not doing it every day like some of these other people do.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do a weekly interview probably on the weekend. And so if you have a carnivore success story, and I'll probably maybe clip this out later and make a short out of it. If you have a carnivore success story and you want to talk about it, and if you have a YouTube channel that you want to do an interview trade with, that's fine too. So just let me know either on the contact us form in the notes below or bob@carnivoretalk.com. And we'll get you on the schedule for an interview. So, but when I originally put the channel up, the intent was to do interviews, and you can tell that if you go to my YouTube page and kind of look at the header, the artwork indicates like a podcast interview type setting, and then I ended up kind of talking about my own personal journey and have treated it more like a talking head channel. So. But I want to start incorporating interviews. And now that I've got this cool microphone, I can take this out with me. I plan on doing some stuff in the kitchen and vlogging and whatnot. So
what camera do you have?
So this is a Sony A6700. I've had this for about a year. This is what I shoot. Well, I was shooting on the camera I'm using for my webcam. That's a Sony RX107. That's what I vlogged with on my other YouTube channel back in 2016 and 2017. So I originally recorded with that, but then I got this one because this one does 4K and it's much nicer. So I've been recording for the last year. Most of my videos have been recorded on this, and then but I just have this studio mic, so I was kind of locked into doing all my recording here because the onboard camera it echoes in the room. So then I got this microphone the other day so I could take it down to the Columbus meetup. So I'm excited because I enjoyed vlogging back, 7 years ago. So I want to get back into it. So I want to add a different style of video. And I want to be able to take it to the kitchen, and I want to do like some recipes and what did I eat today, what I eat in a day, and that kind of stuff too,
So what's your format going to be? Your interview format, Bob?
So I originally, so I did an interview with Geoff, and that was we used this online software because I was using this camera at the time, and it was called Squadcast. It's kind of like Riverside or something, and then it's actually just kind of like StreamYard, where I can download each person's device footage separately after you're done.
Nice.
And I can edit it and post and add graphics and cuts and things like that. But I think that's a lot of work, for one, a lot of work to do editing, and because you can spend hours on it. So but I think I'm going to do this live format. So I think that I want to do it live, advertise it like a week ahead of time, put it on the schedule so people see it and can, click the notification bell to be alerted when it happens. And that way, not only am I interviewing the individual who's mostly telling their story, and then I'll have some supplementary questions that I'm planning on asking ahead of time, or that pop in my mind based on what they say. And then we could also take questions from the audience if they would show up, or feature some audience comments. So I might actually just use StreamYard like this, and except it'll be just 2 people and not up to 10, so that would have a different link, and that we wouldn't share that link, that because that would just be a one-on-one format.
Yeah, no, we get it. It's cool.
You check my prologue out and tell me what you think. If it'll be worth
Okay.
the live or not.
So
Less the language.
Less the language.
Yeah, I'll curb.
You'll temper yourself for the interview. That'll be nice.
Yeah. For you, Bob.
All right.
Nobody else.
Yeah, no, my channel's PG-13. So all right, very good. So that's something that I want to do in the future. Start doing those more regularly. Let's see here. Catch up on some chats.
Oh, for crying out.
The carnivorous grandma was supposed to be on this morning, but she had a storm issue. Oh, that actually sounds familiar. I was watching something today about somebody, and they forewarned you that they had a storm issue. Might have been someone else though, or an older video. So I didn't know carnivorous grandma very well, but she was at Ohio, and her slide presentation and her testimony was very powerful too. So
yeah, if I was still in Michigan, I was only an hour away from her.
Is she from Michigan?
Yeah, she's from Kalamazoo, Portage.
Oh yeah, so yeah, in my Columbus, Ohio video, if you go to her section towards the end there, she's advertising a meetup that she is promoting or putting together, and there's a QR code and everything there. I think that's right. She'll have a meetup in another week-ish, and you can still sign up to attend that one. That might be the Kalamazoo one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's in the video. That was she played that slide right at the end of her presentation and talked about it. I'll do a trade interview. I think I wrote you down last week, but let me check. And then Chmet says, I am a Mitch fit, but 4 a.m. for me is not good, but love Mitch. What's best for him? You can always watch the replay. Where's my notes from last week? I did. There's my notes from last week. I got you written down. All right. So we'll be in touch. And Mitch is going to start live at 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. wherever her time is. It's 7 a.m. here on the Eastern Coast. So from Mitch's point of view, it's 7 a.m. He's moving it from 8:30 to 7 a.m. So that means it's going from 5:30 to 4 a.m. in that other time zone.
All right, I got to get
Bob?
going, guys.
Okay, Kurt. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having my topless butt on camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna log off
It's
too,
all
guys. I'm
good.
gonna go to bed.
That's as primal as it gets right there. No shirt. Oh, he froze. All right.
His internet is very sensitive. All right, guys. I'm going to bed too. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thanks for joining. You have a great night.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
All right.
Bye, Aaron. See you later.
See you
And
later.
goodbye, Rick, wherever you are.
Right, the couch.
Yeah, he'll be back in a moment here. So Brian says, Bob, are you going to fly them into Akron? What are we talking about? I'm tired. I only got 4 hours of sleep last night, so I'm starting to drift off. About ready to jump offline myself here. Who am I going to fly into Akron? Let's look at the other chat. This catch up here. All right, I'll keep my eye on that too.
What time do you usually go to, Bob?
Say what? What's that? Say what's that?
What time?
Oh,
are
what? Oh, how late? So, they run usually between 10:30 and the latest one has been midnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
So it kind of depends
about
on
40.
how many people are here. So like the night that we had 10 people on the screen, the conversation just kept flowing and flowing and flowing,
Mhm.
and we were on till after midnight. That was for 4 hours. It was like 4 hours and 16 minutes or something. That was a record. And but usually we typically end at 11. So 10:30 to 11. So it's 10:21. So we're kind of getting close to that time anyway. Yeah.
I just finished my infusion.
Yeah.
So all the needles, Band-Aids are on.
Mm-hmm. And you do that multiple times a day, right?
No, so I have adrenal insufficiency that I control with the repurposed insulin pump.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have common variable immune deficiency, so I don't make IgG1. So I have to infuse immunoglobulin once a week.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, I would die of infection.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. I've spoken to many carnivore influencing docs about, will I ever heal? Will I ever get off immunoglobulin? And they said, you are blessed to get it. So that's that.
Mm-hmm.
That said, carnivore has really improved my life significantly with the situations I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's which I want to get out to other people that have chronic genetic disorders that they're, living, treating, that there is a better quality of life.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And my purpose was, I have chronic kidney disease that's not resolving, and in fact, some of the markers that they use to test chronic kidney disease look like they got worse on paper. And then there's other ways to check them to prove that they don't. So my whole purpose is to try and tell people not to be afraid and help them interpret their numbers and help them determine what their kidney function really is. That's because I've benefited me. I feel like $1 million, doing carnivore. And yes, this hasn't resolved, and I don't think it's going to. I'm not really worried about that, or it's going to take a long time. But I'm going on 50 this year, so
yeah. Now I got kind of a hit in the face last week. I went down to Boston for my annual pulmonary appointment, and my lung function has dropped from 70% last year to 60% this year. Now I can exercise more. I'm singing classically again. I'm having a whole lot of fun. Do I get short of breath from time to time and have to stop and recatch? Yes, but I actually expected that they were going to tell me I had improvement. So this week I'm going for a lung CT to see if there's anything that's causing this. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the test numbers. One of the good test numbers, though, is that my gas exchange absorption is way above average. So I may not have the function, but I have high gas exchange absorption.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely attribute that to being on an anti-inflammatory diet and, being on a carnivore diet. So,
Yeah, very similarly, my creatinine, which is used to calculate your EGFR, my creatinine goes up. Therefore, my EGFR goes down and gives the appearance or illusion that my kidneys are getting worse. And but creatinine is a waste product from the breakdown of protein. So I'm eating more protein, but I'm not filtering out like I used to, and therefore it builds up in my blood, causing those numbers changes. But then there are other markers I can check that aren't affected by your diet or exercise, and those markers show improvement in EGFR. So that's what I talk about in my kidney video is these other you can't rely on, if you're going to do a carnivore diet, you can't rely on this marker. If you do, it's going to scare you. It's going to scare your doctor, and they're going to try and talk you out of this. But so before they let them talk you out of this, because now that you've done it, I know you're feeling great. Check these other lab values first, and keep an eye on those. And if you see improvements or stabilization as those, don't worry about this marker over here, because this one's skewed.
Yeah, on your case, on a carnivore diet, creatinine levels are not pathogenic.
Right.
They're metabolic.
Yep. So, yeah, that's it. That's how it is. So, Jamette asks how my wife is recovering. Hope all is well. Doing really good. It's been, I don't know, 2 weeks now. A little over 2 weeks. Yeah, it's 2 Fridays ago. So it's 2 Fridays ago plus a couple days now. 16 days or something. The first week she was sleeping on the couch and depending on the painkillers, and then she eventually, like day 6, she was able to transfer to the bed. We have a water bed, so it's not easy to get in and out of, so that's why it took her so long. And then probably on day 9 she wanted to get out of the house, and we went shopping, went down to bust some meat at the local rancher and whatnot. And then about a week later we actually went to a concert. We went to a rock concert and stood for the whole thing in the pit, 4 people away from the stage. And it wasn't a pit though. It's not a rowdy crowd. And so we were worried about it being a rowdy crowd though. I was ready to defend her from anybody. But no, she's doing good now. She just went to the doctor today, and she can now lift like 30 pounds and everything's looking good. So, and she's still off work for another 3 weeks. So, and then she can return to work. So things are doing good as far as the healing process goes. And she's not a carnivore, but I do make her eat lots of steak. So she's just by proximity of being around me, she consequently ends up eating a lot of steak. And we know what happens. Meat heals. So.
Yep.
All right.
I went in cold turkey, whole hog, and my husband followed about 2.5 months later.
Awesome.
He decided he didn't want to waste the groceries in the house. I decided I did.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we gave surplus away to a family with 8 kids.
Yeah. I remember having that mentality, like, I paid for that. You bet I'm going to eat it. I remember that, So now I don't pay for it. Now it's like, hey, you want that? You buy it. All right. So Amy says that's how she does her interviews, live. So Rick was my first one. So Rick, you've done a series of interviews. Do you prefer to have them recorded, edited, and published later, or do you prefer to do them live? You're muted. No volume.
We can't hear you. You need a ventriloquist.
I think your cat pulled on the cord again. All right, we'll let him figure that out. Nothing yet. So, Carnivore Lifestyle, he says, best way to make prime rib, air fryer maybe? What would you say? I actually haven't made it, believe it or not. So,
the last time I did for Christmas a few years ago, I did the hot oven approach, where you put it in a hot oven for a certain amount of time, and then you turn off the oven and don't open the door for 2 hours. And it came out
You little menace.
I heard you there.
Yeah, he did pull it out. Look, he was playing with
Uh-huh.
a cord. You little
Yeah.
monster. He's playful. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
Look at that playful kitty. Look at that playful kitty.
Milton, you are guilty as charged.
He's like, I don't care. I do what I want.
He's like, I'll be rolling.
Yeah, what I was saying, I don't really have a preference. I've done live interviews and I've done recorded. I think a lot of it depends on the person who's interviewing me. Some people, they like to edit it down, like on the Dave Mack interview or with with Baker or a couple of others, but the rest of them were basically live and recorded the way they recorded.
Mm-hmm. All right. Rockin' Keto Amy says, next Monday, my choir practices start back up. Just want to let you know in case I'm absent for a while. I can come on if you're still on. I get home at 9. If that's 9 Eastern time, that's fine. You know, we like to roll till 10:30 to midnight. So that's just fine. Yeah, show up if you can. Like if you noticed, my good friend Geoff, you know, who's usually on here like clockwork, you know, he's busy tonight. He wasn't able to make it on. So and but he's, you know, and packing and moving and whatever else he has going on. So yeah, there's come on if you can. And don't worry about it if you have to show up late. Like look at Rick. He shows up late all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. We still love Rick. By the way, if you do want to join us on screen, I have pinned at the top the StreamYard link. So you can click on that and join us on screen and force me to stay on longer. If you want to see me suffer and not go to bed, just click that link and join us on screen. Because then I feel compelled to stay online. That'd be nice.
It's like Live at 8 with Rick.
So I'm going to head out in a minute because I'm going to go upstairs and use my beamer.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's an electromagnetic frequency that helps with circulation and lymph flow. And after I do my infusion, I like to help my body absorb the medication better. So I go on the beamer after the infusion, and I'm going to head out and go upstairs and use my beamer and head to bed.
All right.
So, in other words, beam me up, Aaron. Right?
Yeah. No, it's a neat health pack. It's I tried to employ whatever packs work.
That was a Star Trek reference.
I know.
I was thinking BMW.
Oh, Beamer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my closest affiliation to anything Star Trek is having very good control of my fingers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well.
So.
Live long and prosper.
That's right. Good night.
Have a good night.
I got to figure out how to get out of here again. This happened last week.
Oh.
Use a red button.
Yeah, there's a red button somewhere. Yeah, or just close out.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Click on the duck head. Maybe there we go.
Still there.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll tell you what. There you go. All right, I was gonna say I can remove her from the screen and she can figure out how to get out of the studio. All righty, let's head back over here to Booby Goats is tired, going nighty night. All right. I like Bob's time and Rick and Russ and Amy. They are good time slots. So, yeah, the Monday at 8 seems to work. I didn't know how well it would work because one, it's a Monday, and then, we have a large crowd of people that are watching Dr. Barry, his Monday Night Live, but not necessarily the same people that would come here. So, like if you enjoy chatting with each other, like a lot of you do here in the chat while we're talking, I mean, you can't do that on Dr. Barry's live, and because the chats are going by like, there's like 250 messages a minute, and so maybe I was worrying too much about that crowd not coming over here. They're probably not coming over here anyway. So, all right. Brian says, everyone have a great night, eat meat, and then repeat.
Absolutely.
I don't have any fancy slogans for ending my videos.
I just tell people to duck it.
Duck it.
Yeah.
Just
It's like Mitch has
duck
his easy button. I was thinking about making my own duck it button.
All right. What time did this live start? 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have been running for 2 hours and 35 minutes. Or as Feral Grandma says, 7 Central. So yeah. So that'd be what? 8, 7, 6. And then if you're on the West Coast, that'd be 5 p.m. So all right. Rick, my monkey cat has a cold or allergies.
That's weird.
Milton, hi cutie, meow. Milton needs his own channel. You just need a 24-hour live stream on Milton all the time. tie a GoPro around his neck, have it stream to your router.
He's a little menace.
Is he an indoor cat only?
Yeah, he's an indoor cat. I let him out only when I'm with him.
Uh-huh.
He gets into a fight instantly.
Oh yeah.
Super aggressive.
Bob, thank you. Glad she's feeling better. Waterbed, I'm jealous. I'll tell you what. I love my waterbed. I know people that absolutely hate them. There's Milton. Milton's come for you no matter where he's at. Hi. Hi, kitty. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah, so like, this waterbed has been around since like the 70s. Like, it was a friend of my parents who turned around and like gave it to my parents, and then they stored it in their basement for years when they stopped using it. And then I decided to dig it out and clean it up, and I had to buy a new like bladder for it and filled it up with and got a heater, and I absolutely love it. I'm a tile setter by trade, and there was one year like back in 2005 or 2006, I tore out like 1,000 feet of tile, and like my back was just killing me. Like, I severely injured it, and every time I went to bed, I would wake up with this horrible back pain, and I'd have to painfully flip over, painfully scoot down to the foot of the bed so that my feet and knees would drop down, painfully raise myself erect, like ow, 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 and it just hurt to bend over and put my shoes on and everything. And I got that water bed, and I put it in the room, and I filled it up. And I'll tell you what, a couple of nights of sleeping on that, I never had back pain again. And you just lay down, and that thing just conforms to your body and gives you full support. I absolutely love it. Love it. Love it. If I was going to get rid of the water bed, I would probably, I've looked at mattresses because I've considered it. I don't really want to, but the other half wants to sometimes. And the purple mattress looks like it would be a comparable replacement, but they're so expensive. So why would I do that? I got a nice oak water bed.
My mattress I got from the trash.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a
I've never
previous
had that.
mattress where we had a friend that worked at a hotel, and they actually buy new mattresses and toss out the old ones on a somewhat regular basis. It's actually comforting to hear, and so they'll toss out mattresses that are actually just fine, because they have to turn them over every so often. So we had gotten a bunch of mattresses from her at the hotel. Yeah. So yeah, if it's still, if it's clean and it's still comfy, a mattress is a mattress. Jamet asks, what band? We went to see Shinedown. They were the headers, and opening for them was a girl named Morgan Wade. I never heard of her before. She was okay. And then the second act was Bush. And, I never liked Bush in the 90s. But I tell you what, he was high energy. They were actually great live. And then Shinedown, they had a 2-hour set. It was their show. And I've seen them like 10 times now because that's my wife's favorite band. So anytime they come around, I have to buy tickets. So, and I usually try and get as close to the stage as possible. So we got some good video of that too. On our phones, though, we can't take in a real camera. They'll throw you out. All right. Rick, you look like how I feel. Rick's had it rough today.
And it's always hot here, so it's just not fun.
Oh yeah, you're in Florida where it always cooks.
Mm-hmm. It got
Florida's-
so hot so quickly.
Florida's the 7th level of yeah.
It's like 9 months out of the year unbearable.
Mhm.
I don't know why people are stupid enough to move here.
Tom says I would, Bob, but I freeze a lot. I think you're talking about jumping on the screen. Yeah. No, you were talking about getting like an Ethernet cable, right? So you could.
Yeah, he did.
You did. Oh, do you still freeze even plugged in?
Seemed better the last time. I don't know.
Yeah, because I know the Wi-Fi. If you have bad Wi-Fi, or if your router's like in the basement, you're on the 3rd floor. I mean, there's those issues. I'm on Wi-Fi right now, actually.
I don't have any Wi-Fi.
And yeah, but I know I heard you were going to get an Ethernet cable so you could hardwire in, and that would hopefully have solved it. And then I guess it maybe comes down to your device. Just make sure you've restarted your computer, closed all your tabs and stuff, so you have a bunch of free memory. Sandy's off to bed. I enjoyed. Glad you could be here. You have a wonderful night. Yeah, you can't chat to each other on Dr. Barry's channel. Yeah, exactly. All right. Yep, precisely. Unless you speed read. Bob, I'm grateful to Rick for mentioning you and Russ, or I would not have known. I'll tell you what. I met Russ face to face. I got my picture taken with him. It's in the video, the picture. And he was funny, man. So yeah, I subscribed to his channel, and he said that I'd be welcome on his channel anytime. So I might end up there on a Tuesday night at the Keto Cookout with you guys sometime.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I promote all your channels.
I have to watch it, and I have to make sure it's okay with the wife, because she's learned to tolerate my Mondays. If I start coming up here and disappearing on Tuesday nights too, I think she might snap. All right, CB's going to bed also. Oh, if no one's got you in the coaching class chat yet, send me an email, bob@carnivoretalk.com, with your phone number. I'll get you added. All right. A lot of people saying goodnight. That might just be the theme now.
That's it.
Oh, Amy, you should make Rick into a superhero with Milton, Duckman, and Iguana Boy.
She will, as soon as I get her a decent picture.
Yeah, I remember that a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I jokingly said Sergeant Sirloin. So am I supposed to submit a picture? All right. So love Shine Down in Bush. Sounds like fun. I love music. I love concerts. So that's one of the things that we like to do. On all kinds of concerts too. Like I like musicals and I like rock concerts. So sometimes I go to these festivals and spend all day or all weekend there. Is anybody in South Carolina? I'm going there for vacation here in September. So I'll be down at Myrtle Beach. I'll be stopping in Greenville to see a relative and then popping over to Myrtle Beach. And so if anyone's in South Carolina and wants to do a meetup down there, I'll let you know where I'll be. I'll write it in the sand. All right. Amy says she's waiting on Rick to send a picture. He needs a newer computer. That could be. Amy, what's your favorite band from the 80s? Yes, it is. I found out because I'm only working with an 8 gig computer, not enough for live streams. So is that your 8 gigabytes of RAM for memory? You probably need 16 or 32. Yeah. I've got 32 on this one here. And then anything more than, and I mean, I think 16 would get you by fine. I think 32 is probably overkill. Oh, we have someone trying to join. Oh, that's Tom. There we go. There we go. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing? I figured I'd
Doing
give it a
good.
try.
Better.
All right.
Yeah.
You came in here under with an abbreviated name.
PPR. Yeah,
I was like,
Carnivore
PPR, who's that? So I always get nervous when I don't recognize a name because I'll see them in the studio and I'm like,
yeah,
uh,
no,
should I let this person in or not?
I was too lazy to write comments. There's too many letters.
That's all right. So how you doing?
So yeah, I just figured I'd say hello and everything.
All
I'm
right.
doing okay. You know, I was dealing with some depression issues and stuff, but I'm doing okay now. Yeah, I was a little saddened because I did the Ethernet, did everything everybody suggested. I even like put it through a hole that was in the wall, did everything, and unfortunately came to the realization it wasn't the wiring, it was the computer. When I bought the computer, I only bought an 8 gig computer, and it's really not enough to really have like long streaming. So I'm okay right now, but I do tend to freeze. Like even with the Zoom calls, like, you know, it's, if you ever see me turn the camera off, it's because I'm just trying to save some of the
Bandwidth
some of the
or the
Wi-Fi.
processing power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or memory.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have like 8 gigs of RAM and you could use
Yeah.
16. Yeah. Do you have a laptop or a desktop?
Laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be trickier. I don't know if
Yeah, I mean, I'm
some
willing
older
to.
ones.
It
Some
takes
older
me a
ones
little
you can
longer. I'm
open.
willing to get a desktop. That's not a problem. I just,
Yeah.
you know, if that would be better too, you know, I'll do that because it's not like I really travel with the laptop. The only time I would travel is if I like go to my sister's or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but other than that, you know, I stay home. You know,
Yeah.
when
Well,
I
a laptop is super convenient because it is portable.
Yeah.
Some older laptops, you used to be able to open them up and there would be a blank slot where you could add more memory,
Yeah.
or you could pull the 8 gig memory card out and plug a 16-bit in its place. Not 16-bit, 16 megabit one in its place, or 16 gig. Actually, I'm talking
Yeah,
going way back too
this
far.
one's a little cheaper, so it didn't really have that function of being able to do that.
Most
So
laptops today are like
it's fine,
sealed.
you know.
They can't be opened. You know, it's like there'd be no way I could open mine. It wouldn't be possible.
It
I
is.
mean, I'm
Yeah, I mean,
someone.
I did a video on it saying how impetuous I was, and I was excited. I wanted a computer. I didn't really, you know, get the advice that I should have gotten, and you know, I'm regretting it, you know, obviously. And the worst part of it was I had to email all my interviews that I had lined up and tell them that I have to postpone. I can't do the interviews.
Mhm.
So, which was about 15 people that I had to email. So that's kind of humbling to do that, you know. So,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? You know, but it's all good. My boss actually came. He actually said that he has this thing that he does whenever he buys a computer. He does this program, but I have to find out more about it. Where they buy the computer and then they just pay them, and you can like pretty much they give you the money like it's a loan. That they give you enough money to get the computer. So he said he's done that a few times through the company. So yeah.
Oh, so like you could get a
I'll look
computer and then
into it and see
they'll
if
take like a little
if
bit,
that appeals to me, or
like they'll take a little bit out of your check every payday to pay back the computer.
like it takes a little bit out of my paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I have 8 gig in my computer. It's weird.
That's your RAM, 8 gig.
Yeah, that's how much RAM I have.
I don't know.
Well, you know, there's
Maybe
the
I'm doing
RAM.
something wrong because I've done everything. You know, I got the Ethernet and I hooked it up. I got the adapter for the Ethernet. I pulled it across. You know, I don't. I'm still. I called the company. They said that they're like, well, you should be getting this. You know, like, I'm only getting like the most I'm getting is about 170. Like I'm supposed to get like 1 gigawatt or 1 gig, and I'm getting like maybe 170 of the M or the.
The megabits per second
slow.
download.
Yeah.
You run a speed test, right?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
And and sometimes it's even less. Like 170 is about the most I get. So, and when I call them up, they're like, well, we're getting about 800, 900 here. So you should be getting like super speed, So the only conclusion I came up with is that it's got to be the computer.
What are you using for a router?
Well, I use Optimum is the company that I use.
Oh, you're using theirs.
Yeah.
So that should be fast as it can be. Maybe it's defective. Maybe you got a bad line connection.
That's possible. Like even though it's going through to them, it might not be going through to me.
Well, on their end.
Yeah, it could be, it could be between your router and the pole outside. It could be between the route. Well, now you got from the router to your computer is an Ethernet cable. You'd expect that to be just fine. If the router's acting up, could be the computer's not as powerful. So yeah, I mean, it could be anywhere along the chain. What kind of computer?
I think what my issue was computer? When I do some of the interviews, I don't know if you noticed, like when I did the interview with Adam, I'm sure you noticed, Rick, how I was freezing a lot. And,
yeah. You're fine now.
Yeah. I guess I'm like knock on wood.
It's got to be your internet provider. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is that the next internet provider is actually charging me more for the internet. So I don't really want to pay more than I'm already paying,
Yeah.
So, like they quoted me and I had a little bit issue with them. So they said I can't do anything until I pay them like $350 first to clear up the problem I had that was caused by my old roommate, and long story, I'm not going to that's too much into the past. And I just don't want to spend that money on something. And then to find out that I still have to spend like $50 more a month just to get the service, so, and not to have that guarantee that they'd be any better. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the computer won't help. Maybe, hopefully it will. This time I'll get one that's a better computer. And then I'll but I like your thought though of getting a regular desktop, and then I could just use this one that I'm on from my sister's house because she has better internet, so that might actually be okay if I do my.
And with the desktop, you can pop the lid off and add more memory if you ever need it.
So I can upgrade it.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And I have the desk. I'm sitting right at it, so it's not like.
Amy says, email your picture. I'll try and remember that. What the hell? I'll come on for a bit. Holly says, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm going to Myrtle Beach, but I'm stopping in Greenville first to see an uncle. Jamet asks, do you do any other time besides Monday? No, I don't. This is my only live for now. And what I want to do is incorporate another one probably on the weekend or later in the week. That's an interview. So interview format. This is the social free for all. Anybody can come on and chit chat. This will remain that way, but then I want to add another one, this interview style for videos.
And I think, Rick, the reason why you're able to use an 8 gig computer for this is because you are really good at what you do, and you could actually make like a radio out of a coconut if you wanted to. So,
My whole network is so primitive, it's amazing.
Right.
It runs on smoke signals.
Yes.
Have you seen my phone system?
I don't have that talent. Okay.
Yeah, have you seen my phone system?
I did. I have. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah. So so it just kind of depends. You got, your internet connection, your amount of RAM. I mean, this could be the only thing Rick has open right now. On his computer, all his other tabs are closed.
Yep.
You got a direct
Right.
connection,
And
you might have a nice
Dude,
processor in there too.
right
You could
now,
have only
I'm
8
actually
gigs, but you might have
amazed
a
at
nice
Nah, I got a
processor.
Core i5. It's old,
doing
Mm-hmm.
so well.
but I do have an SSD.
I do have.
So now
I figure-
you froze.
Yeah. I wonder what his latency is on the internet.
I'm not frozen. Who's mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were for a moment.
I don't know.
You're fine. You seem to be fine now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just moving my head around so we can see if I'm okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. And and another thing you could try and do is open up your task manager and just just watch what's eating memory as you're talking. So like if you freeze, look over at your task manager and see what's eating up all your memory at that moment or all the processing power. Could be a program running in the background.
Mm-hmm. That's
How would
right.
How would I do that exactly?
So if you hit if you hold down Control Shift Escape, your task manager will pop up.
Escape.
Yep. Control Shift Escape. If you're in Windows, and it should pop open, and it'll have a list of processes, and they'll be categorized by apps and by background processes. And then you can.
No.
That's if you sort by
Nothing
name.
Up.
So if you go, Control Shift Escape will open it for me, and you got to hold them all down. So hold down Control while you're holding down Control. Press Shift while you're holding down Control and Shift. Then press Escape. Good night, Jamette. And that opens your task manager, and then you can watch what's eating up all your resources. But you're frozen on my end again. All right. So it was nice seeing. So Russ, did you get to see any of the pictures yet?
No, not me.
Okay, let me go load them up here. I'll show you just some of the pictures I took. Let's see here. Let me do the share screen thing again. All right. Let me blow this up a bit. Come on. There we go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's my album here. Got to take a picture of Dr. Kiltz. Here's your buddy.
Yeah, which one?
And so this guy here in the red shirt, that's carnivorous dude, Ed Coleman. He lives in Columbus.
Oh.
So, and then obviously that's Jen and Carrie. And there's Dr. Nelson. What struck me as odd is I'm taller than both Dr. Nelson and Dr. Kiltz. I always assume everybody's taller than me.
I don't see any 6'6" people there.
No, not yet. So there's your buddy Russ.
Yep, I see him.
These are all the VIPs, that we all got to eat together at Texas State Brazil.
Nice.
Got them all to look at the camera. So, and then there's when I was just taking random shots when nobody was paying attention. All right. And it just dawned on me, some of the people I was worried about uploading our photos are actually in those pictures. There's your boy.
There he is.
Yep.
He's probably the biggest man.
Hello. What'd you say?
Yeah. Probably the biggest man there.
Yeah. Both vertically and horizontally.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
If you want to see how tall I am, just look at the video Russ made when he came here.
He's a cool dude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then got a picture with Carrie. And then this is the Greek carnivore that lives actually right here in town with me. So yeah. Yeah. So that's that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looks like Tom bailed.
Yeah.
So, Foxy Joe shows up. Hey guys. Hey Foxy Joe. It's 11.
Yes.
It's 11. Attendance has dropped down to 16. We got 1 on Facebook, 15 on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We were up in the 40s for a while.
That's good.
Yeah.
I get up to 60 sometimes, a little more on my live stream.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing good.
Yeah, it's it would be cool to see more, but it's already hard enough to keep up with the chat.
Look at what I got to go through.
Oh yeah, no, I mean you like to read every comment.
That's right.
And so yeah, no wonder why you almost never get offline.
But I do catch up every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Foxy Joe says, I didn't even know you were on Facebook. Yeah, so I'm streaming. I'm simulcasting using this StreamYard software. I'll put the question up on the screen or comment on the screen here. Yeah, so you can watch on YouTube, and then it also is broadcasting to my Facebook page. And they usually cut me off in 2 hours, though. So I'm surprised it still says that I got a viewer over there. And they haven't cut me off for some reason. And then it also broadcasts to Twitter, and nobody watches over there. Twitter's I have like zero audience over there. I can't drum one up. I'm not a big fan of Twitter anyway, or X.
I've never used it.
So I might replace it. I might set up a Rumble and try and simulcast it to Rumble, but I can advertise to 3 people, to 3 services. I can simultaneously stream to 3 services. So those are the 3 I've picked, because there's a way to do Instagram also, but I think it's much more difficult. Like you have to actually visit Instagram, start the stream there, copy something, put it over here, and it's more work than I want to bother with. So Joe says, I'm 6 months strict carnivore. Awesome.
Nice.
How have you benefited? That is the question. So in 6 months, I was able to take off about 50 pounds. And Tom, I see you trying to join, but until I see your face on screen, I'm not going to click the add button. And I reversed ulcerative colitis and a bleeding gums and a bunch of things. And there we go. There he is. All right. So still moving slow. Look at the fan blade on the ceiling.
Oh, I don't see it.
It moves very, very slow. Yeah.
There he is.
So lots of benefits. So yeah, Foxy Joe, tell us, give us the deets, man. How's the carnivore diet been benefiting you? I met with a group after the Texas Day Brazil thing and the Columbus meetup. I sat with a handful of people at Starbucks. A couple of them wanted a coffee. I went and got just a bubbly water. And I was talking to this guy, and he made a list of all the changes that carnivore has done for him. And he listed something that I never gave any thought to. And one of the things on his list was no longer has insane earwax buildup.
Huh.
And I'm like, you know what? Neither have I, because I used to generate lots of earwax, and I'd constantly clean it with a Q-tip.
I've never
Every
had
once in a
any.
while, you'd impact it, and then you'd go deaf or muffled, and I'd have to get like an ear candle and light it and try and use the heat to smelt and suck up the wax and try and clean out the ear. And oh man, it's so miserable. I haven't done that in years.
I've never had that.
Yeah, well, it's because you eat right for the last 45 years. That's why you never had that. So that's the point. He said that was one of his carnivore benefits, and I'm like, you know what? Me too, but I would never thought of that. You know, I just kind of take my clean ears for granted. Tom says, "Sorry, I came on 100 times, so I had to shut down." So, yeah, no, something's struggling over there. We need to put our heads together and figure out what that is. So, I wouldn't mind knowing what is the make, model, and brand of your computer, so I can just see what the statistics are. I'm curious now. Foxy Joe says A1C is way down to 6.8. Only thing is I'm disappointed it's not lower. Well, keep on doing what you're doing. And you know, be patient. So it's way down. I mean, that's right away. Just the fact that you get to use the words way down is pretty cool. And is that I would imagine you are type 2 diabetic then. And have you had to adjust your any medications along the way? Like, you know, have you proportionally had to cut down your insulin or whatnot? Just curious. Not that would affect your A1C any, but so I hear from some type 2 diabetics that, you know, they stop eating the sugar and then their sugar drops too low and then they need sugar to bring it back up because they become hypoglycemic. But that's because they stopped eating the amount of sugar that they needed, but they still continue taking the same amount of insulin that they were. And so they don't need as much when they're not consuming as much sugar. That's just me babbling. You know, I'm babbling because I've been on for 3 hours and it's time for bed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gotta wrap it up.
Rock and Keto Amy says, I have a ton of earwax only in my left ear. Yeah, you ever use an ear candle? They're actually kind of cool. So you punch a hole in a paper plate. They're like a cone or a funnel. And you stick that in your ear through the paper plate. You use the paper plate so the melting wax doesn't fall on your face. And you light the end of it. You can just hear it snap and crackle as it burns its way down. And as it gets hot, it's supposed to melt the wax and then draw the wax up into the candle. And I just found that would work easier for me than some of those sprays that are supposed to dissolve it. So, yeah. It will get there, Foxy Joe. Mine is 6.2 from 8.9 from 13.5. I'm going for 5. Goaling. That's a goal for 5.4. So yeah. Target Prime Rib Tom. He's in the same boat. He's a long-time type 2 diabetic that has suffered some long-term, forever consequences from his diabetes, but he's definitely turning things around. And he's been working at it for a while, but he's doing good, making good progress too. All right. Sounds like you turned on the news there, Rick.
I don't know. Milt is playing with a remote. What are you doing?
Oh. Oh, that cat. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. So if you have any final words, put them in the chat now. Yeah. Again, the Columbus, Ohio meetup was a lot of fun. You can go watch the video. I think there was like 8 to 10 inspiring testimonies there. And I have them all. I'm all marked by chapters now in the description, so they're easy to jump to. A lot of fun. It was my first meetup. I'm glad I went. I look forward to being able to attend another one. And that's it. In the meantime, throughout the week, you can come over and talk to me publicly or privately over on our community at carnivoretalk.com. Registration is free. We don't charge for anything. And a lot of the people you saw on screen today and in the chat, they're there during the week also, giving each other love and support on their carnivore journey. We'd love to have you there. And I'll be back here next week on Monday. Maybe, just maybe, might squeeze in an interview before then. I'll advertise it on my channel ahead of time if I do, and on my social medias. But yeah, think about next week. Think about joining us on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because, man, this is a lot of fun. Look at Rick. He's having a blast.
It's better than pushing a van.
And you know what? We have some. You never know who's going to join. So we know Rick's going to join. Usually, we know Geoff and Kurt. So we have some regulars here for sure. But if you want to have a taste of what being on camera is like, this is a perfect way to break the ice and get involved and talk to your favorite carnivores face to face. And who knows, maybe even a carnivore doctor, because we had Dr. Kiltz on tonight, and that was a pleasure. So, kudos for him for jumping on. That was awesome. But that's that. In the meantime, have a good night, everybody.
All right.
All right. Yep. Have a good night. Love you all.
Okay.
See you later. I'm going to hit the end stream. And then, Rick, if you want to stick around for a little bit, that's fine. Ending in 3, 2, 1.